Good morning, Macon, Georgia, Middle Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the Morning Roast for Tuesday, October 15th,
right
2013. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you messed up yesterday. You were out for a week, you forgot the name of the show.
Morning, Ed.
I watched
It's
it.
election day.
Yeah, I watched it in the recording yesterday. You forgot the name.
It's election day.
It's election day.
Today's
It's
the day
election day. Election day. This is for a hump day.
that we vote in more scumbags into the government.
Yes,
That's the
indeedy.
crop of crap that we get.
Yeah.
But it is a hot race. Mayor Robert A.B. Rickett and C, or his real name is Clarence.
Jack Ellis.
Clarence Jack Ellis
Yes.
are in the
But a lot
fight
of
of their
people-
life.
but a lot of people can relate to Jack is much more cooler sounding name
Yeah.
than Clarence.
Well, yeah, Clarence.
Well, unless you're a musician, you know, like Clarence Potter, Clarence, you know.
Remember the Honeymooners back in the day
Yeah.
when Jackie Gleason was with Art Carney. They're standing there, and this little guy comes around, and Jackie starts to go back and forth with him, and he says, "Well, I'm gonna get my friend Harvey on you," and all of a sudden Jackie Gleason starts to Harvey. And he starts to make the big deal about Harvey like some other punk like him. And Harvey turns out to be a big boxer, ready to pounce on him.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, I hear you say Harvey's a funny name, huh? Harvey's a funny..." It was funny.
Yeah.
Clarence is a funny name.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, yeah. Well, that was Jimmy Stewart's.
Can't be as bad as Irving, but...
I mean, that's Jimmy Stewart's guardian angel from It's a Wonderful Life. Not a boy, Clarence. Yes.
It's not a wonderful life.
Anyway, Clarence Ellis
What a
and
good movie,
Robert
nonetheless.
Rickett, or Bobby, is going to have this runoff today. So by the end of the day, we're going to know who the next mayor
Of the
of the
consolidated
consolidated Macon Bibb government is going to be.
Georgia.
Yes, Bacon, Georgia.
But we got to discuss something.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
By the way, it's 64 degrees outside and cloudy in Macon, Georgia with a high of 80 degrees and a low of 57.
We're going to
ahead.
jump into that. Okay, now, of course, in all campaigns, as we must say, thank you, Ed, that's perfect. We could read it and everything. Read this flyer is now going around. It popped up out of nowhere. It was given at the polling stations, or left around there, and some people giving them out around there. And it became a very explosive moment
Very
in the
explosive
campaign.
moment.
More explosive than the farting hippo.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, we could bring that up later on too. Yes.
This is the
letter
wing dang-
pops up.
Yeah, this is the wing dang doodle of the hour.
Yeah, this is the wing dang doodle. And let me tell you something. It takes a lot of balls to put this out.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about wing dang doodle. I mean, I wouldn't get caught with this shit in my hand. I mean, it's very divisive, and it's almost like those flying leaflets that say that come out in the wars in the Middle East.
Yeah.
We throw flyers down there and tell them, "Give up." This is what it seems like in the way that this letter is put. It's saying that, of course, Robert Rickett and Mr. Larry Schlesinger, who happens to be the candidate here in District 2, for those of us who live in District 2, good morning, Yurac. And so, in District 2, Larry Schlesinger would be one of the main guys running this show in this area. He will be the representative, the commissioner for this area. And he's in a fight with Henry Fickling, who is the tall minister that showed up on some of our events for Junebug.
Yeah.
But so that Larry Schlesinger, except that he wasn't in the parade, he wasn't in any of that.
Yes.
But he has always shown up for whatever causes I've had. And he's always showed up to other causes. Henry Fickling, on the other hand, yes and no. It depends on the group that he wants to be in.
Yeah.
And that's just the God honest truth. You know, if it fit his style, he's not going to be around. I don't know about that. Right now, the way Macon needs to be run, it needs to be all inclusive.
Yes.
And it's all about airs. It's all about airs. It's the air about you that seems divisive.
Yeah.
And it's from this faction that we just read that this kind of, I believe, this kind of nonsense where you're accusing these Democrats of being Republicans because of the idea that they are pro-business is a little bit underhand. Mm-hmm. And it really is what they call a political lie.
Okay.
Okay? These guys are pro-business, so what? Mm-hmm. They're pro-business, they're trying to be pro-people. I would even say that about Mr. Rickett. Mr. Rickett, for all his history with the police department, it was really never about so much, him personally. It was the style of management that he had. But him personally, I always think Mr. Rickett, like that little girl says at the end of the commercial, and he's nice too. Yeah, he is a nice guy, Mr. Rickett. So is Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
They both have their own personality.
Yeah.
All right, they have their ways of twisting the truth a little bit.
Yeah.
But in the end, they really are both good guys. This kind of hateful stuff, putting out flyers that they're no good. And by the way, the flyer gets really nasty. And let me just show you how nasty it becomes. It says, we're making commission candidate Ada Roberts got into a car. Ada Roberts is also lumped in this. Mm-hmm. After a Sunday church service, she said she noticed a flyer under her windshield. Roberts said she was disgusted when she took it off and read its message. I don't understand why somebody would need to be so negative and why they need to say such ugly things, she says. The top of the flyer reads, the Rickard and Schlesinger Republican agenda is bad for you.
Quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. Quote unquote. Whoever quoted that. Whoever said that. And we have some behind the scenes source of who actually did this flyer. And I think it'll come out very soon exactly who the person was that put out this flyer. It goes on to say that Mayor Robert Rickett, Council Member Larry Schlesinger, and Plantation Negras trick voters into passing consolidation. Then at the bottom of the flyer urges people to vote for C. Jack Ellis, Henry Finkling, and Ada Roberts. So they're pro Ellis, Finkling, and Roberts, and it doesn't surprise me.
Wow. Because
this is what has been, in my experience, as a local politician or someone that ran for it. Mm-hmm. I know the stories behind all this bullshit of the thinking behind the two different camps. The two different camps. And I'll give you some more insight on how I know this stuff, because my friends are the politicians that are running and in this government now, with such great example, Al Tillman. Mm-hmm. And we also had Miriam Paris. So we know that side of the camp. That's the pro-Rickett side of the camp. Mm-hmm. Miriam Paris, Al Tillman. Who else? Larry Schlesinger.
Yeah.
But you see, Larry also goes to the black community events with the leadership of Lucas and Fickling and these guys. Why do I say Lucas? That's not a Freudian slip. That was meant to be said. Lucas is always involved in this stuff. This is the kind of talk that they would muster up. That's all I'm saying. It's that whole camp, that whole mindset that has been stuck in Macon as much as the Rickett camp has been stuck in Macon and leading Malaysia. Kind of like whatever, pro-business, not really caring about all the crime that has been going up. And we got crime statistics again. Today we got terrible stories of another guy shot in a motel. A kid just died who was shot in the face. We got a lot of craziness going on still in the city. Mm-hmm. And so what Ellis wants to offer is a poverty program dealing with that element. While Rickett wants to promote more business and more bands and more events and more of that. And so what we need is maybe we need a little of both.
Well, yeah.
Maybe Mr. Rickett ought to, maybe if Rickett is leading the pack, as they say he is, with all that money he got, $250,000.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. And he's running very glossy commercials.
Well, I agree with this is probably the one.
Maybe a little of both.
Well, of course. I mean, Anthony pretty much said it rightly. I mean, we need to take advantage of our artistic musical history, which is why we had the free concert with Percy Sledge this past Sunday afternoon.
Right.
And other acts coming in, and especially like we talked about last Friday night when they had Chris Tucker, who came down to the Macon City Auditorium. We needed more music acts, more comedy acts like Chris Tucker and like Jerry Seinfeld, who came here earlier this year, back in February.
Yeah.
We need to have.
I think we need both elements. If we can get the pro-business, if you want to say Republican leaning, I don't think that Robert Rickett is all too happy about this government shutdown right now. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's sitting there going, "Oh, this is wonderful." Let's put it that way. I don't think that most Republicans right now are thinking, wow, my party is really up there trying to make some changes, other than trying to control spending, which I'm all for, but it's the way that they did it is more to do than whether they did it or not. The issue of overspending is out of control. There needs to be some better way of spending money. We need roads that need to be built. We need, hospitals that need upgrading. I mean, we need a lot of shit. The world is constantly using, it's like a car. Once you take it out of that driveway, it depreciates.
Yeah.
You got to constantly be fixing it. That's the way this country ought to be run. It's always breaking over here and go and fix it. But what do we hire? We hire these people that want to run out the clock from day one that they come into office. They start running out the clock.
Which, by the way, the shutdown, which we're going to find out, this is the last day, from the government shutdown, or the United States will go into default.
Of course, and Mohammed, it's funny. They are thinking the whole situation is Obama's fault. But that was President Harry Truman that taught that lesson. And unfortunately, we apply and misappropriate it, which is the buck stops here. Unfortunately, that's the way the American did. Well, the buck stops with him. He's the president. Yeah, listen, he's just Emmett Kelly the clown. He's just a puppet.
Yeah.
It's like that clown in that rodeo. That's all he does is stand there while somebody else's voice is coming out of the speakers. That's the way it is in politics. No? Mm-hmm. Hello. I've been in it. I know exactly what it's like. These extreme mentalities, like that flyer, it happens in Little America, Little Macon, Georgia. This shit is still as potent as you can get. Trying to divide people. That's why we're a divided government. Right now, we are so dysfunctional. Extremes. We are on our extremes. Do you know what that's called? It's called bipolar.
Yeah, bipolar.
America is a bipolar nation.
Political bipolarism.
Think about it.
Yeah.
It is completely bipolar. You know what bipolar people could do? They could shoot themselves with those guns. It seems like every one of these guys have a bipolar issue.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Folks, let's face it. And this is why one side, we want guns at all hell costs. We want to be able to buy tanks and cannons too. You know? I mean, that's the way it is today. And then there's the other side, no, nothing, no guns, destroy the business. Make it go out like the cars did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, divide
and conquer, of course.
Exactly.
They're going to conquer us, Euro punter. They're going to conquer us. Divide and conquer this nation.
And who would have thought they didn't use it? And they didn't use it with guns, or they didn't use it with guns or with bombs. They used it with our pocketbooks
and politics.
Mm-hmm.
Politics and pocketbooks. How's that?
Yeah.
In that order. Politics and pocketbook.
Yeah.
Remember that. Those two words go together like the Mutt and Jeff, Heckle and Jekyll.
Mike and Ike.
The Abbott and Costello.
Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin.
Yeah, Martin and Lewis.
Yeah.
And all those guys.
Yeah. Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde. There we go. That's even better, Euro.
Yeah.
The
Europeans
got a good.
Some real actual names for some crooks. Yeah.
Yeah. Master Meatball. Politics and religion remove the brains of the semi-conscious. Wow. Now wait a minute. Let me think about this. I'm still semi-conscious here to even contemplate that thought. What the hell is he saying, Derek?
Basically saying that using basically the politics and religion, people's faith, I guess, is basically the 1-2 punch on making a people surrender, so to speak. I guess that's what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Have people succumb to your thoughts.
Yeah. Punch in the balls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
2-piece special.
Let me just say this: politics is they say is a friendly bedfellow. Is that what they say?
No, basically.
Yeah, you're getting screwed over, and he's a whore or she.
Well, basically, they say that politics is basically show business, a Hollywood for ugly people.
Yeah. Politics and religion both turn off the human brain. No, actually, they turn on some receptors, like pain receptors and anger receptors, as opposed to the happy receptors. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. The dopamine and the whatever endorphins. The you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the endorphins.
The endorphins, yeah. Critical thinking.
Yes.
Critical in a different way. Makes for strange bedfellows. Thank you, Yirak. You're the man.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of politics, getting on the more local side, today is election day, so if you didn't get a chance to do early voting between October the 5th and the 11th, today is the day to vote now.
Yes. Definitely. And don't forget to find out before you go anywhere, to check and see where your precinct, place, and polling station is, because they never really, I don't know, ever figured out where the real districts were, where the offices were. I still don't know what office I'm supposed to go to, so I'm just going to go to Pioneer. And Wildcat, you're in District 2 with me. Do you know where the polling station is for District 2? Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Mark. All right, so we need to find that out, and you need to find that out there. Mm-hmm. If you are voting today, make sure you know where your polling station is, so you don't waste gas.
Yes.
Going from one place to the other.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Which will, Godfrey. Where the hell is God? Oh, God. What's Godfrey?
Godfrey. I want to say it's. I wish I could say it was the Macon Mall, because I remember that was one of my alternative voting places when I first moved. It was like the Macon. It was like, man, that was like convenient. Well, at least that's where I was able to early vote.
Yeah.
One time. It was like, man, I'd be able to buy a pair of sneakers and vote at the same doggone time.
Well, Muhammad makes a point. He says voting is dangerous. Electronic ballot, no privacy, vote the wrong way, and spell out your IRS audit or worth. You're right. I mean, it really is like a census taker in a sense. Mm-hmm. I guess, with information on how you know, more than just a number. I think there were 4 Godfrey districts. I don't know what Godfrey is. I never heard of that term ever. What is Godfrey?
Is that the company that does that owns the electronic voting machines? Is that what you're saying? Just wondering.
Only God knows. A guy named God and a guy named Fred.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I had like some other political news. It's from AP. From Milwaukee, it says the son of slain Sikh to challenge Ryan. Says the son of a slain Sikh temple president plans to challenge former Republican vice presidential nominee Paul Ryan in next year's congressional election, in the midterm election 2014. Amar Kalika tells the Associated Press he wants to bring accountability and transparency back to Washington. Kalika's father was one of the 6 people gunned down by white supremacists at their temple last year. After Kalika urged lawmakers to strengthen gun legislation, he says Congress seemed more interested in serving lobbyists than the American public. Kalika says he'll file paperwork Wednesday, tomorrow, to form an exploratory congressional committee. The 35-year-old Democrat plans to announce his candidacy formally next month.
That's going to be exciting.
Yes. Ryan's prominence and fundraising prowess makes him a formidable opponent, but Kalika hopes to raise money from wealthy ethnic communities and the National Democratic Party.
So this is the guy that created that whole Sikh community?
Well, his father actually...
His father was the one that was killed. His father was a minister or whatever they called him.
Yeah, of the temple that was shot up by this white supremacist.
Okay, well, that should be exciting. Even Yalbat Avram, your friend, says, man, I hope he wins. That would be hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And Mohammed Husseini wants to bring Sharia law.
Well, Sharia law. Mohammed, you should know this. That's Islamic law. Sikhs are not Muslims. I mean, there's just another different form of religion from
they just
from
look
India.
alike.
From India. Well, not necessarily. I mean, they both wear headgear, but one is a turban, the other one is called something else, mistakenly called a turban,
right.
But it's totally different. I had to find that out.
In the old days, they were all known as towel heads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Says the guy from New York City, the diverse person. Ew. What a way to start the day, man. I'm just glad.
I don't know where you find these pictures.
That should have been one of his costumes.
I don't know if he would have gotten 34 votes, though. He probably would have gotten 12 after
Wow.
Jeez Louise, man. I'm glad I had Cheerios instead of eggs, man. You really would have turned my stomach after that.
I ain't done yet.
You ain't done yet. Oh, man.
You know, Europunter, that comes, that's what I call about bipolar, extreme this, extreme that. He says in Malaysia, only Muslims can say Allah. Now, let me just say this and remind people that biblically it says that the woman should not speak. And that the man is really the one that, God created, and then from the man, he created a woman, so she was secondary. So always in that religious world, even in Christianity, it always falls, it's very patriarchal, very male,
patriarchal.
dominant.
Yes.
And this is now taking it to an extreme where they say to their women, you must be silent. Silence! Just like it said in the Old Testament. And how they behave in those extremes. Don't say nothing. Don't even say his name. Right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be what is the essence of the language or the wording in the Bible, where a woman shouldn't speak to the umpteenth on steroids. Because that's not what the Bible really says. It's just once again taking it out of context.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and humans are definitely known to take a lot of stuff out of context. Talking about, I mean, like the shutdown. We're if nothing's done sometime tonight or early tomorrow morning, we go into default, right? So, talk about getting screwed one way or another. Speaking of getting screwed, here's a story right here. There was a woman who caught a robber who was trying to rob a Lowe's store. She's an employee of Lowe's.
That's because of the government shutdown.
Yeah, I don't know what the shutdown.
Well, people getting desperate.
Yeah, but the thing is,
we'll attribute it to that.
But the thing was so crazy is that she didn't catch him before he drove out in the parking lot and got his license plate number, and that's how the police caught and arrested this guy who was later identified as Kyle Heim. And basically, her colleagues called her Rambo and Wonder Woman, and for
what? Running out of the store and looking at a guy's license plate?
Well, basically, the guy was robbing the place, and she got the license plate of the guy's car who robbed.
But how does Rambo correlate with the woman looking out a window and?
Well, I guess the people were just afraid that to do anything. They're afraid to go. Well, yeah. Well,
it's overstating.
People need a hero.
Maybe she jumped on the car. Need a hero. Yeah, check it out.
Who's your hero?
Maybe she shot out the freaking tires.
Green Lantern. Her boss
shoot out
John Shaft.
Who's your hero?
You're one of my heroes, Ed.
But as a reward of getting the person who reporting the person who robbed the store, her employers at Lowe's fired her. After 18 years working with that company, they fired her.
Goodbye.
I did that when I worked at Radio Shack. I ran after a shoplifter. And it was right out here at Presidential. Ended up only on the side of Kroger. Mercer Police was there shopping. He helped me. He grabbed her and stuff like that. The police came, and when I got back to the store, the manager was really cool. She said, I could fire you for that. I said, what? He said,
for what?
Running after a shoplifter.
Oh, look at that.
A lot of companies have that policy. You don't do nothing. You just let them go. Or they fire, and that's what they did.
And why would they fire? Because they're afraid they're going to get shot or something? Or
I don't think they want the big scene. I think they want you to handle it very discreetly. I mean, I could see that. They don't want the focus of the corporate USA honing down on that manager. So what's he do? He hires him for being a snitch, basically. And that's what it boils down to. Don't get involved. Just let me know, or use your protocol. There's a protocol to this. You can't make a scene. Everybody going in and grabbing a can of beans. It can't be that way all the time.
I see.
Don't you think? It puts people at risk. I mean, she's running after the guy. The guy pulls out a gun, starts shooting at her, and it hits an old lady over there. Instead, I mean, a lot of shit can happen. Which is why they don't want you to run after them. They should just let them go. Not worth it.
I say she should have been promoted to a profit and loss management security.
Possibly, if they still have those positions,
But she got fed up, but she got tired of people ripping off.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on at those Lowe's and Home Depots, man. I tell you.
They should do what they do.
Yeah.
And,
matter of fact, that's what you said on the comment page on the stories.
What's she saying?
Yeah, she should have been promoted to manager of loss prevention. And Lonnie Cole says, Garen, go and talk to an attorney, but get a good one. Keep your head held high as you did the right thing. Susan Carter Williams says she acted like it was her money. The man could have shot her. They have cameras. I don't agree with them firing her, but she's not a cop. She had no business following the shoplifter. I guess she agrees.
It wasn't her. wasn't her loss. I mean,
and it wasn't her call. It was not her job to do that.
Yeah.
Period. Well, what do you expect from? What company was that?
Lowe's.
Lowe's.
And they have some good stuff. I mean, because I mean.
No, I'm just thinking that they have good employees. I mean, besides the fact that she's trying to, like, oh, don't steal from us. But I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm kind of disappointed because Lowe's have some good, they have some good merchandise. I mean, especially like helping me. Like, I mean, I got my mailbox fixed over there. Got the cement to repost my mailbox to get it under at Lowe's. Even got some nice security lights. I mean, they have really good stuff.
You're a punter. Yeah. That is terrible. They have robbing cemeteries there. That's creepy.
They've done that here too.
We've had that here.
Yeah.
I think they did that with Lincoln. Actually, they stole his body. We don't even know if that guy that's buried in that tomb is really Lincoln.
Yeah, it's on the Lincoln Memorial. Yeah.
During that time.
Well, who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Hopefully Grant.
Hopefully Grant. But what happened was there was a story told that the man who was looking for Lincoln's body and supposedly found it, he had his son with him, and that his son described the smell on Lincoln's body as like a potpourri, like a musty potpourri. Isn't that weird?
Well, yeah, it's kind of weird because
like he smelled like a musty old potpourri.
Well, yeah,
I know what he means.
I can see that because when Lincoln died, it was very traumatic to both the North and the South, and basically all throughout the country. I mean, they basically traveled with his body because everyone else wanted to pay their respects to the president. Even some Southerners, even though they fought against him, they did. I mean, they basically traveled his body all the way from Washington, D.C. all the way to at least to all the states at that time, I guess to maybe St. Louis or Chicago until they finally brought it to his home state of Illinois, and then they had it buried there. So basically to keep the body preserved, to keep it from stinking and smelling on the way on the train rides, from people there, they just basically just dumped a lot of potpourri over it to preserve the body and to keep it from, smelling and making the mourners sick. So
well, I mean, isn't that the way they bury bodies? They did that. They put all these spices in your body and all that.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is before people discovered formaldehyde.
Yeah.
I know some people who used to work at funeral homes over, Hutchinson's and Bentley's and Sons. Those places.
Yeah, we're talking. Oh, by the way, if anybody just tuning in, we're talking about Lincoln's body being stolen, and then now we're talking about. We're now morphing into what? This is a good segue. Bring up the story about the little boy. Once again, they threw away his organs. Remember that? I mean, we haven't spoken on these things in the last week or so. But you know about that little boy where they took his... he supposedly died in a rug. We talked about it yesterday. I'm suspicious about it. I think that he was beaten up, knocked out, and then rolled up into that rug. Because the way he wouldn't have fit otherwise.
Yeah.
They said there's no way that his shoulders could have squeezed in there. So on top of that, to add insult to injury, the funeral home or whatever place they sent it to after the autopsy discarded his organs.
Okay, basically.
And filled them up with newspaper.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, what the hell is that?
Basically, a South Georgia high school student was died.
Why don't you read that story?
Loudon's high school student Kendrick Johnson became lodged inside a roll of mats upside down, according to Loudon's County sheriff officials. His body was found in the high school's old gym after his family reported him missing. Autopsy and investigation of the sheriff's officials and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation found no signs of a struggle. This was Sheriff Chris Pine told the Valdosta Times. Now, this is when the story first came out, back in January of this year.
Right, but it's morphed into this whole other story now. Besides the fact that they never ruled it a homicide, so they never really checked. They never did this. They never. The police dropped the whole. It was just a mess. with this kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes on to where the way they dispose the organs in his body and blah, blah, blah. Now, here's the thing. The young man is gone. Unfortunately, God rest his soul. He was still... he's going to be in heaven. He's fine. He's fine. But the way that his body has been, they buried it, then they exhumed it to do the second autopsy that resulted in the homicide being applied to it.
Yeah.
When now they have to go back and investigate everything. And while they're doing that, they're finding out all these horror stories on how the body...
It's kind of ironic. The guy the attorney who helped push the criminal prosecution for Trayvon Martin's shooting death was joining the fight to reopen the investigation of this young 17-year-old.
Yeah, I saw
Johnson,
Mr. Crump. Yeah, I saw Mr. Crump was right there with the parents.
Yes.
So Mr. Crump, who did the Trayvon Martin, and also was here during the Junebug, I met him.
Mm-hmm.
I met Mr. Crump.
Yes.
That's that black guy who was the lawyer for the Trayvon Martin family.
Yes.
Very nice man. I have his card somewhere. He gave me his card, shook my hand. We talked for a few minutes about the incident with Junebug. And he said to me that it sounded like a Trayvon Martin type of a once again stand your ground type issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, Crump said in a phone interview with Associated Press, says this is a real-life murder mystery where these parents sent their child to school with a book bag and was turned to them in a body bag. Basically said school officials said they found Johnson's body in the gym after his parents reporting him missing the night before.
Yeah.
He was stuck upside down in the middle of a wrestling mat that had been rolled up and propped upright behind the bleachers. Mm. And according to this, when they were talking about it, was revealed that Johnson's organs had been removed prior to his burial and that his body was stuffed with newspaper, according to what you said, according to the CBS affiliate WCTV. The discovery was made when his body was exhumed.
What a disgrace.
Was exhumed and a second autopsy was performed. The state said it gave the teen's organs to the funeral home, and the funeral home so far is not commenting about it.
Very sad, folks.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like a nice young man. He, pretty cool guy. He had long hair and just a whole. And they probably thought they took advantage of him.
Yeah, possibly.
Somebody beat him up, threw him in that rug, rolled him up.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad. Anyway, what's even sadder is the disgrace of which everybody's handling this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the poor parents. If nothing else, I hope it'll give them strength to continue to fight to tooth and nail to get to the bottom of all this nonsense. Where everybody's involved in this shit.
Yes.
The police, the home, the school, everything. Everybody's involved in this murder.
Yeah.
They got involved by the reckless, dismissive behavior on a young man, a young black guy, dying the way he did. They're like, they're all freaking crazy anyway. Who the hell knows what that stupid kid was doing? Blah, blah, blah. Meaningless to them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They forget that these young boys have big families. They have others that are touched by this kind of stuff. But, that's the way it is. That was the culture that you saw in the Trayvon Martin trial when they were making fun of the big black girl saying, look, everybody was in an uproar about her. Oh, she's not even human. They made her out to be like an animal. She's just another kid in the hood. Mm-hmm. But they made her look like some freak show. Trying to put her down and make her look all retarded. Although there was some answers that were out there, but hey, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Let's be honest. In the ghetto, education and intelligence is not considered, pluses in that particular place, because you're going to be. Being a nerdy black guy. If you're considered smart in the hood, you will be ostracized. Unless you find a way to make some money off of it. Unfortunately, the outlets that are available at that particular neighborhoods mostly tend to be negative or criminal.
Well, Europunk,
It's very limited.
Europunk said they don't give a fuck and take our organs. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, yeah, they do take our organs, don't they? They take every you got to pay tooth and nail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys are talking about Grace and Such House. Anyone found Jimmy Hoffa yet? Lead after lead after lead, and still nothing. Guess what? That body is like breathing air. Who the hell knows where that body is? So we breathed it a long time ago.
It's been almost
Either they
40
burnt
years
that
ago.
son of a bitch, or they
It's probably kitty litter by now. Just sand now. I mean,
Jimmy, this is a weird way of saying he wanted the fame. And I always say around here that the only way that you become a legend is you have to be dead.
Yeah.
You have to be gone.
Like James Dean.
Yeah, while you're around, you're what they call a living legend. Yeah, whatever. You got guys like Little Richard's still around, but nobody gives a crap.
Yeah.
Once he died, I was the greatest fan in the world.
Yeah.
When was the last time you wrote him a fan letter?
No.
Yeah, I'm just talking to the fans of Little Richard. I'm okay with Little Richard. I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah. My dad went to school with him, so he's.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to all that music that they played was like those annoying Elton John songs. And he has a lot of them. They drone
And you're
on and
supposed to
on.
be-
It's
you're
like,
supposed to be a
God, I
fan of
can't
the
listen
guy.
to this no.
I'm like, man, do you like the man or not?
What?
You're like, gee, before you like it, you hate it. I'm a big Elton John fan. You
Yeah, I'm the biggest Elton John fan in the history of the world, believe me. But there are a couple of his songs that drone on, and you're like, oh, I can't listen to this. Not now. Yeah. Is there going to be a global government, or is there one already? There's one already.
Don't they call it the world,
the world
United
order,
Nations?
the new world order. Bush daddy, wheelchair
Daddy
man.
Bush, yeah.
What happened to that guy? He like overnight, he's in a wheelchair.
Well, he is 89, man.
Yeah, what about that 94-year-old woman that works in the park? She just came out. She works in one of the national monument parks. And that
True.
woman is kicking. She's still working as a ranger in a park. 94 years old. I mean, Bush, as soon as, if you notice, as soon as his son stopped becoming president, all of a sudden the guy's in a wheelchair.
Don't you know that's one of the most stressful jobs in the world? I mean, you're the leader of the free world. I mean, you got that much weight on your shoulders. That's gonna make your hair turn gray quick. Not gray. I mean,
They
white.
dissect you.
Yeah, I mean, like, jeez.
Look at what happened with Obama. He looks like 20 years older now.
Yeah.
He
It's
looks
stressing him out.
Rough.
If not diplomats from around the world and Chinese people tomorrow, when you going to pay your bill? I mean, you got these jerks over in Congress stressing you out.
Yeah.
And other branches of government, you got if not the Supreme Court, whoever,
I wonder who he's gonna support for Supreme Court. I was thinking
They're
about
already
that.
put in two. So
I know.
Sotomayor, the first Latino judge.
Yeah, Sotomayor.
I
That
wonder if they're
name.
gonna have an Asian. Do you think they'll have an Asian justice?
That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good. She'd
Or
have to
Native
weigh
American-
in on the
or Native
Redskins.
American, yeah. Yeah.
They put her. Tell that yellow one to deal with the red stuff. Anyway.
Well, you're so politically correct, man. Jeez. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a street. Well, let me see. Of course, Al Tillman and all these other guys denounced it. By the way, going back to that flyer.
Yeah, that flyer, yes.
They denounced it. They said, it's terrible. Don't do this. I say, look, it's called a true lie. There's some truth to that. They are Republican leaning. However, they make them, and demonizing them is just flat out wrong. and I've done that. I've demonized people, but you know, this is written on paper. There's a difference between the slip of a thought or a tongue or an idea, and putting it down on paper and then giving it out to people. You know, that's called what? Propaganda.
Yes.
Propaganda is not a good word. Anyway, they're both positive, by the way. Mayor and Ellis are very positive about going into this new election. Both hope to continue what they're doing.
Yes.
Robert Rickett, of course, pro-business. Mayor Jack Ellis, pro-people. Middle class, lower middle class people.
Yes.
Mayor Rickett, middle class, upper middle class people. The two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
Which is known as Macon, Georgia.
Yes.
All right, so who's going to be the head and who's going to be the tail?
Yeah.
Who do you think? Heads or tails? Heads, Rickett or Ellis? Tail, Rickett or Ellis? Who would you say is heads and tail?
It's too early to figure out. I guess we'll find out on election.
Too early. Today's election day. That's it. It's over. After today, you pull the switch, go by.
Yeah.
So too early. It's too late at this point.
I will say one thing. I think September. I think there was only about maybe 30 to 40,000 people that voted. There's about 110,000 people in Macon.
Yes.
Probably 90,000 of them are voting.
Yes.
Today. So I think we're going to get a double turnout. They've been coming out in droves, man. They want to see the city change. They're sick of it.
Yeah, they're cleaning house. Like they're tired of the clutter, political clutter, and they're trying to clean house. They want to make it better.
Well, there is also still Virgil Watkins and that other guy. And the reason why I bring them up is because the way that they put down my district, I was in District 8, so when I voted early on this election, a couple months ago, I had to vote in District 8, and then that's when I did the paperwork and said, no, my district is 2, and now I'm not even sure where the hell my voting station is. So I'm just going to go to Pionono, see what happens there.
Pionono open today, though? I can't vote there.
I'll find out. I got to get a hold of David. I need to go vote.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to come by after. So.
Oh, well. Let's see what happens. Polls are opening during the runoff. And let's see, open at 7 a.m. And they're going to decide. It says we'll select 4 commissioners as well. Those races were runoffs, so 4. So races in District 2, that's us. 4, 6, and 8 must be decided by runoff. The irony is that I lived in both District 8 and 2. And so when I went in this last September, September election time, by the 17th, I had to vote in District 8. But then I did the paperwork and said, no, I live in District 2. So that whole screw up with the district affected me. Now, I don't even know what district I'm running in. It looks like I may be in District 8. So Virgil Watkins is another candidate along with that other black guy, the older gentleman. I don't remember his name. And he's running against Virgil Watkins. So I don't.
Chuck Jones, Charles Jones, I think.
What's his name?
Charles Jones. He's going against Virgil Watkins. Charles Jones.
Charles Jones, right? Charles Jones.
No, Sir Charles Jones.
No.
Yeah, Charles Jones. That's right. All right, so Charles Jones is running against
Virgil Watkins.
Now, Virgil Watkins to me is he's more of a. this other guy, Jones, is a Lucas Alice Fickling guy. And Virgil Watkins is a Rickett man. That's the way it is. You see that? So, who would I lean more towards?
I swear, man, it's like a two-party system. Either way, when you cut it down, like Republican, Democrat, Coke, Pepsi, McDonald's.
They're both Democrats,
McDonald's, Burger King, you know.
Exactly. Which one's better?
Oh,
McDonald's or Burger King? What do you like? Are you a Burger King man or a McDonald's man?
I like the Burger King's burgers because they're flame broiled. It tastes much better, but McDonald's have better taste than fries.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
So in other words, you like eating horse meat.
Straight from the
Thank
horse's
you,
mouth, I guess.
Very appetizing. No, it's interesting because I, on the other hand, I could do either one, but the Big Mac is slam dunk. That Big Mac is good burger.
Okay, well, the special sauce, which is we know was
Yeah.
Thousand
You know,
Islands
it's
dressing.
Something about a Big Mac.
Thousand Island, right?
You mean the man juice?
No, I had
about
one,
that?
No,
you're
you
right.
done with me, you ain't never going back to fucking McDonald's and Burger King, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to make my own.
You're right. The voting card that I had, if you notice, because that was stolen with my other information. That one, voting registration card was for when I lived on College Street. When I lived on College Street, I was going to that voting booth on Walnut, that big campus, a place where Elaine Lucas area. So that's where I used to be. Now that I'm in District 2, I could be anywhere. I mean, anywhere, even downtown. I'm not sure. You're in the Godfrey section. Maybe I'm in one of those.
Well, if you're with District 2 with David, it's at some school. Because I went with him when he went and voted last time. I don't remember where we are, but it is some school.
Yeah. Yeah, David would be in District 2 also. Because he lives on off of Oglethorpe. Somewhere up going towards Tatnall Square Park in that area. Yeah, you're a partner. We're trying to figure out what district, because they did something called redistricting, which is what this flyer is accusing him of. That's where all that hate and venom is coming from. Was because what they did, these Democrats that were in there, along with Schlesinger and Rickett and Miriam Paris and Al Tillman, these guys wanted consolidation to happen. But in order for that to happen smoothly, they had to break up the districts and redesign them in a way that would be, according to the Republicans that wanted to do this, be able to elect officials that were from their neighborhoods as opposed to citywide. They wanted, they wanted to hone in the ability of the people that you can vote for that district. They wanted a new district. That's where that hate started coming out. Yeah. That's where that hate started coming out. And anyway,
I do have one other.
We got 4 minutes. We're going on our first break. This has been the longest 1 hour of the morning roast.
Definitely. I did have one more local story, basically
Please.
from a second suspect arrested in the Econo Lodge murder. There was
who?
Econo Lodge.
Econo Lodge, yeah.
Oh yeah, the Econo Lodge, yes.
Yes, one in Ronald Robinson.
Yeah, Econo Lodge. You say like one word, Econo Lodge.
Yeah.
It's Econo Lodge.
Yes, Econo Lodge. Yes.
Yeah, the Econo Lodge.
Basically, says that.
What a shitty name.
Hey, they the ones who. They
should call it the Hot Sheets.
Okay. Now
Hot Sheets Hotel.
That sounds like an STD right there, man. Sheesh. Hot sheets.
Hot Sheets Hotel.
Last week, there was a person, 23-year-old Matthew Gardner of Warner Robins was found shot to death at the Warner Robins Econo Lodge last Thursday. And that following Friday, police believed the shooter was 32-year-old Kenneth Sharp of Biloxi, Mississippi. Because around 2 o'clock, I think around 2 o'clock yesterday, this morning in Oxford, Alabama, someone received a phone call from Waffle House saying that they had a possible gunshot victim in their parking lot. The Oxford police arrived and found Kenneth Sharp with a single gunshot wound to the abdomen, and where he was taken to the hospital. Emily Hooker was traveling with Sharp. I guess that's the second person. She's from Jefferson, Georgia, and Hooker told police that Sharp was shot in Warner Robins, Georgia. Hooker is being held by the Oxford Police Department, charged with trafficking methamphetamine and possession of a pistol without a permit. And bond is set at $50,000 for the drug charge and $3,000 on the pistol charge. Investigators now believe Sharp and Gardner got into an argument that ended in gunfire with both men hitting each other. So that's basically what we have so far, and the case is still under investigation. But I'm still trying to figure out why the drugs charge is set much higher than the gun charge. $50,000 for having meth, but $3,000 for the gun. I mean, isn't the gun more deadly?
Yeah, maybe. Wow. Well, that happened in Alabama, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, she's from Alabama.
She's from that, but it happened here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, all those areas like the Econo Lodge. They mentioned Waffle House in that story.
Yeah.
All right. They mentioned. You ever notice that whole area, like with the Waffle Houses and the Krispy Kreme donuts and all of that shit combined makes like an area that is so
saturated.
It's just saturated with like all these
Seedy
Walmart nutcases, fat people, like people that are like half formed, retarded people. You know what I'm talking about? It's like an insane asylum.
Compared
of
to
food, where
to,
everybody goes in and everybody's like got the munchies and they all
compared to the snooty pickpockets and prostitutes that hang over at the Red Lobster and the Olive Garden places.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. These are places where they have like the retarded taxi drivers, the retarded people going in late at night. Eating something on the go, which is probably unhealthy for them. Exactly. And does that. And they don't care because they're so hungry.
Yeah.
And they're so focused on nothing but to eat.
Yeah.
It's like savage.
Somebody back it up.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Nice parallel parking, yes. We'll be right back.
We're going to go where the retarded people are. They hang out.
And we are back.
Yes,
welcome to the
we
second
are back.
hour of the Morning Roast, live from the Nut House with Irv, Ed, and DB.
Yeah.
And for this hour, you have a special treat. Irv and Derek are naked from the waist down.
Good morning, Anthony.
All right. It's 66 degrees and cloudy outside in Macon, Georgia, with a high of 80 and a low of 57.
I was home.
Yes.
Where were you? Oh, you called me that late. I'm sorry. I was probably in bed. I think I went in about 11 o'clock. Yeah. Where'd you go? You went downtown? Were you downtown? I love this. When he and I talk like this, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing what technology has brought to us.
Yeah, he types and you talk.
Yes. Good morning, Knuckleheads. Yes, how you doing?
Well, I'm sorry I missed your call. I could take a rain check today if you want.
Working
Are you
with
working
Greenpeace.
with Greenpeace? What is that?
I guess that's some environmental organizations.
What were you out cleaning garbage? Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Greenpeace. Yeah. Greenpeace. All right. Well, I know, but what the hell is Greenpeace? What is that? I heard of it, but what do they do? Is that what they do? Expose themselves in pink outfits?
Oh my goodness.
Those are the ones that are against a lot of things like hunting, killing animals, and all that shit. Green, have to do being green.
Oh, I see.
Take care of the green.
Oh yes, I gotcha. This is all the coded language.
Yeah, like now it's coded. May as well just tell them what the fuck it is. They figured it out.
Yeah. Good morning, Rob Stoge. Oh God, let's say hello to these people. Let's say hello to these wonderful people since they're all here, and we should acknowledge each and every one of them because each and every one of you are precious.
Yeah.
Like that fat girl in that movie. Yeah, you're all in my face. Big deal. You know that fat girl that hated herself on that movie, Precious?
Yeah.
She learned to love herself.
Mm-hmm.
Even being big, fat, and ugly like she was. Well, that's what you all are. You are all big fat, and ugly, but very important.
The words of
because I know that you are all computer nerds, and you gain weight when you sit on your ass all day and play on a computer. So welcome Ashley34, Acid DJ, DS Photo Guy who's been around since day one.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Stacey, My Nuts Itch, Nikal 3000 has been around in a while. Too Much, a Urak Wildcat. And of course our friend BS Sports Cards, Blue Medic, Bobby Wayne, Bunny TV,
mm-hmm.
Donnie Curry. Donnie is one of the stars of our show. He's like Ed McMahon somewhere. Helter Skelter, Larry K, Mad Dog, Mark in 1979. By the way, it's Mad Dog 1968.
Yeah.
I guess that's the year he was born. Norchag, Planet TX, Rob Stoge, Scorpio Pio, Smell My Finger, I love you kid, Snowpox, Tara London, and Watchdog 1.
Yes.
Watchdog 1.
Yes.
Welcome all.
Guten Tag, Norchag.
Welcome all.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome all. You're welcome. I know you're all thanking me for mentioning you and making you feel like you're special.
Yes.
Especially you, my nuts itch.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that nuts do itch and you gotta scratch them once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you go and then
Just
you
not
smell your
there.
finger.
Well,
welcome all. Anyway, Derek, a lot of shit going on.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Anthony, you know what? Think about it. Did you hear about the flyer yesterday that they put out on Rickett and Schlesinger?
Yeah.
What do you think of that flyer, number one, Mr. Former mayor candidate?
Mm-hmm.
And who do you think put it out? We have word that, in fact, you can look on a Facebook page and you'll find that flyer there, or something to that effect. I think it's DJ. DJ who? David? I think it's DL.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. That is a great point, my brother.
Yes.
Because you're absolutely right. It sounds like him. There you have
So
it.
the
He
plot
said it with me.
thickens.
It does. I was thinking it was in that camp, Remember, I said it this morning before you came on, Anthony. We talked about this at full length.
Mm-hmm.
Where I felt that it was that whole camp of it's the Fickling, Lucas, Ellis, Ada, Roberts, all those people that are in that one camp that opposes the Rickett camp, which is Marion Paris, Al Tillman, who are the other one? Virgil Watkins, Robert Rickett, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and Larry Schlesinger.
Mm-hmm.
That camp over there. Yeah.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, okay.
Okay, it reads like he writes except with grammatical corrections. His English is horrible online, but it reads like him. Yeah, it reads like he talks. Yeah. But, wow, that's great. I think I would agree. But some other sources say that it could be the Lucas son, the oldest son. That's the other suspect.
Huh.
Yeah, and it could be that, as you say, DJ came up with the idea, and Lucas did the grammatical correction because The Fly was somewhat written with correct grammar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man.
And then you've heard that it is actually reverse psychology. Well, it is in a sense, because what's going to happen is it's going to turn off a lot of people to that camp, like me.
No question about it. No question
Because,
about it.
you know, come on. Do we really have to go there? Do we really have to start handing out flyers like they did in Vietnam, trying to take over a city? It sounds so tribal.
Yeah. It is tribal. Very tribal.
Well, and that's the thing. The Republican on that side, the Republicans that are here in Macon, Georgia, are penniless. They don't make money here. That's why Rickett was a Republican and he became a Democrat. I mean, and they all did it. You know, I don't know if Larry Schlesinger was a Republican, but it doesn't really matter at this point. To me, he's pretty cool. I mean, he's always there for us. He's been there for us. I don't know, and I think that Larry was there for us from the heart level, as opposed to trying to look good and make a case that, oh, I'm here. Here I am. I'm making it important for you. Mm-hmm. Like I feel from some of these other politicians.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Well,
in the end, it does not matter. The city's in trouble unless there is a drastic change. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I have high hopes for Macon, Georgia. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end, you know, it's already been dead for so long. It can only resurrect.
Yeah, it
which
can only
is my
get better.
hope.
Yeah.
It can only get better from here.
Yes.
At this point, even with the new concept or idea, maybe get a fresh start. You know. But let's face it, folks. I mean, and Anthony as well. You know, some of these people, like I said, have to die out or move out or leave. But Macon is like a magnet. When people leave here, and they leave here with all the glory of saying, goodbye, Macon, I can't stand you, goodbye. And then all of a sudden, a year later, they're back. It's like a rubber band effect.
Yeah.
It doesn't let you go. And these people are not going anywhere. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Same people in politics, same group. Unless the city diversifies and becomes more transient, like New York is, you're not going to get much happening around here. It's going to be the same old people.
Yeah. Yes.
After a while, they stop feeding you at the parties.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly.
I don't know. That is why the city's in trouble. Why is it in trouble? Because all we've got is what we've got. I mean, nobody wants to move here from other places because there's really not much to do here.
Yeah.
Other than going to a bar, going to a restaurant. Look, as much as I like the Okomoki Lake, I mean, the highway's right there. There's no peace over there. You look at a few bushes, like next to a highway. What the hell?
Because there are no bushes in New York City.
Yeah, let me just say,
unless you have to go to Central Park.
Bushes. And a lake that is dirty, brown, and low. It's like down there, son. It's like a moat, like a creek.
So Lake Tubblesoft is just one great big moat.
Really, that lake, it needs, all of that front end of that lake needs to be manicured.
Possibly. Yeah.
It just looks like the roadside of any road in America.
Yeah, but there are some.
And there's water running through.
But there are some rich people who do live there. Like the Register family do have a huge mansion-like house near Lake Tubblesoft, as well as Kevin Brown, the former Major League Baseball player, used to play for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I think he has a house.
Yeah, Lake Tubblesoft is good, but is that even Macon?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Shit.
I see.
Well, there we go.
Well, speaking of...
I go camping with Max this weekend. Most of you don't care, but I thought that I would tell you, since it is my first time doing some real camping with Max. Oh,
Cub Scout. So you're
gonna
a
have
Cub
a
master
blast,
now?
baby.
You're a Cub master
Nothing
now?
like nature.
You're a Cub Scout
Nothing
master?
like nature. Maybe I ought to, the Cub Scout.
Okay. You just
Cub Scout.
just come along with them. Okay, I guess chaperone. I guess it's not bad. Yeah, that's good.
This is great. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great time. Max is in the Cub Scout and the fathers go along. I love it.
Okay, that's very good.
Very nice. It gives you something to do. Stay out of trouble. Don't try to be a wolf in the woods either.
Yeah, don't try to be woke. Yeah, because
you know what? Maybe
you don't
that's a
need the
good
hassle.
idea.
You don't need the hassle, man. Because people. Because people just can't wait to die now.
Bye, Donnie.
On you.
Go to
Later,
bed.
Donnie.
You need to drive. Don't drink and drive. Don't
Later,
text
Donnie.
while you're driving either. Take
Camp
care of
Benjamin
your pets.
Hawkins. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good place. I've been there myself when I was a scout.
You were a scout?
Yes.
Really?
Really.
You're gonna hold a lot of.
I never could imagine that small. I was like,
He's gonna go hold a lot of signs out there. The campaign is over, Anthony.
Yes.
Campaign is over. But if I were you, I'd take the wolf mask just to do the horror stories at night.
yeah, you need some good ghost stories.
Yeah, you need some ghost stories there, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should bring to the table.
Thank you.
Bring some really horrible ghost stories and scare the shit out of those kids.
Jeez.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, wish I could tag along, but that's a daddy-son event.
Let me tell you about a dead city.
Yeah.
The city of Macon.
Yeah, let me tell you about a dead city. Exactly.
Oh, man.
There once was a city that died, and there was no one there who would have cried.
Because the taxes were heaving, the heat was so seething that you just want to just lay up there and die.
There you go. And when you say die, you have to come at them with the wolf man.
Yeah.
There you go. There you have your story there, Anthony. It's all written out for you. Irv in the woods, scare away all the deer. Yeah. You know why? Because they all have taste. Yeah. It came back from the dead in a ghostly and ghastly form.
Derek OD'd on Viagra.
Yeah, well. That should be a lot of fun, Anthony. So what the hell are you going to do? You're going to take him fishing? Are you going to have a heart-to-heart talk? Or is he going to have that little game board that he likes to play on?
Game board.
Yeah, he has that little game thing. He gets so addicted to that.
Oh, game board, yeah.
Yeah, Anthony. Am I right? They have a lot of stuff like that. Okay, so you're just gonna tag along and be, make sure he doesn't break a leg or something crazy.
Yeah.
Falls off a cliff.
Or break an arm. Don't break an
Or
arm.
burn up the freaking forest. Yeah, you're just gonna make sure of that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're not taking electronics. That's good. Yeah, no electronics. Get away from that crap.
Mm-hmm.
Electronics, I mean, it's good. We have a show. We have a 3-hour show. After this, believe me, I get on Facebook here and there and occasionally, and it's nice to go back to, and then, but these kids get obsessed with this shit for hours on end.
Yeah.
You could waste a whole day on
yes, you can.
On Facebook.
My God, people playing that Candy Crush Saga and Farmville and
Cityville,
Shittyville.
Yeah.
Shittyville.
Your kids don't need the electronics. They got you, Michelle. You're like an overwired up electronic.
Well, then,
electronic.
Speaking of entertainment or lack thereof.
Yeah, speaking of entertainment
or lack thereof, the Georgia.
I bet Michelle probably here when they ask her a question, she probably says, Google it.
You have feelings?
Yes.
No, you're an electronic. You're not supposed to have feelings.
Well, speaking of entertainment or lack thereof, the Georgia Air Show has been postponed. Organizers in Augusta of an air show set this weekend in Augusta said they've been postponed the event due to the partial shutdown of the federal government.
Yep, there's no one to gas them up.
Yeah, the Augusta Chronicle reports that the 21st annual Boshear Sky Fest has been rescheduled to April 26th and 27th. Event spokeswoman Becky Shealy says a waiver is required from the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, in order to have an air show with aerobatic performances, such as dives, loops, and barrel rolls. Shealy said the waiver is sitting on a desk inside the FAA's closed offices. Shealy said organizers initially planned to downgrade the show to only include military plane fly-ins and fly-bys, but decided against that. She said the community deserves the type of air show that has been advertised, which is not possible without the waiver.
Well, DS Photo Guy says air shows risk lives and waste fuel. And then Anthony says a friend of Heather's died a couple of days ago, and it was really sad to see that one of the last things that she did on Facebook was play Candy Crush. We were talking about how sad it is to not know when you will die, and then have that one of the last things that you post. Yeah, well, that's her epitaph.
Yeah.
Candy Crush.
Yeah, Candy Crush.
She'll be known as Miss Candy Crush. I just asked the hundreds dead and injured in Ramstein, Germany. I guess DS Photo Guy's still going off on his air show, being a waste of fuel and money. And people's lives are at risk.
Yeah.
I agree with enjoy what you do stuff, but that seems so much like a waste. Yeah, and you know what? I have gotten people sending me that shit, and it's like, don't send me that. I don't sit there playing Candy Crush. And it is sad. Well, maybe it's better than her driving drunk. Maybe it's better than her going to a bar and getting a roofie and getting raped. Maybe it's better her doing that. But in all cases, in all issues, how did she die, Anthony? How did she die? Yeah, how did she die? Did she die tragically? Yeah, brain and hemorrhage.
Brain hemorrhage. Okay. Yeah, that can be a silent death right there.
Wow.
That can be, yeah.
Yeah, it has been for you especially. It's been a lot of deaths in your family, friends, yours and all that. Well, one never knows. Here today, gone tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Oh, she was a DJ in Atlanta. Okay.
Her name is Amy Barefoot. Okay, well. She was a DJ in Atlanta. Okay. Wow. All that music. Well, what do you think caused a brain hemorrhage?
I don't know. Do you think it's the radiation from the hip?
Maybe the radiation from all that electronics that she was around?
Possibly.
Alan's already had 3 friends die this year. Plus, you had a couple, right?
Yeah. When the mother of my best friend died this year as well. Also, I went to a couple of funerals myself this year. So yeah, people don't know who they are. So I mean, no one knows when their time comes. I mean, unless you're already on your deathbed. But you just
but these folks that have been dying are pretty young. I mean,
yeah.
All right. Well, maybe one of your friends was older, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
She lived. She was like 89 years old or something.
Yes.
Who was the one?
She was a friend of my mother's from relatives.
From the old day. Yeah, from the old day.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, is it unlucky 13 in 2013? No. Believe me, they're lucky they're gone. They don't have to deal with the shutdown. They don't have to deal with all the insanity that's going on in our lives.
I really do feel sorry for the people who do have to worry about the shutdown. At least they don't pay taxes or pay bills.
Yeah, they are dropping like flies, Anthony. It's like Logan's Run. You run your course. You die at 35.
I actually died at 30.
Die at 30.
Because Mom used to have the book. Yeah, she had the book. I used to read this like,
Planet TX 13 is
the movie's much better than the book.
Number Google dialogue. And Planet TX, you're on another planet. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm too old to die young.
Herb lives together and forever. Yeah.
Yes.
Together forever.
Yes.
I don't know where that came from. I have tunes like that going through my head.
Wow.
It's almost like, I'm like a roach. I make these weird noises that nobody hears.
Or like Puck from the real world. That took it just.
Ebony and Ivory. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, it says Ebony and Ivory. Yeah. Okay.
Ivory.
There we go. What the hell? Anyway, listen. I ain't gonna get crushed like a roach or candy crushed or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say this, okay? Only the good die young. Remember that. All these people that you knew, Anthony, and all the all good people. When you're a son of a bitch like me, you live longer than you wear out your wealth. Believe me, I'm gonna be one of those. That is why you act like an asshole. Exactly. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. Let it all out. Like Ed's pictures shows you, Anthony. With your pink outfit. Let it all out. Let everyone see you for who you are. Right, Derek?
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of wearing out your welcome, the Atlanta Braves announced yesterday that third base coach Brian Snitker has been named the manager of the Gwinnett Braves, the Atlanta's AAA affiliate.
No shit.
Doug DeCincio will replace Snitker as the third base coach for the big league, Major League Braves. The Braves news release did not say why Snitker and DeCincio were reassigned. But the Braves said that their other coaches, bench coach Carlos Tosca, pitching coach Roger McDowell, hitting coach Greg Walker,
the Z's are going up like
first
crazy.
base, take a no-dose, man. First base coach Terry Pendleton and bullpen coach Eddie Perez will continue their roles next season. Last season, DeCincio served as the Braves minor league roving outfielder, base running instructor. He formerly managed the Padres system. After 7 seasons as the Atlanta's third base coach and 11 overall and 3 stints on the Braves' major league coaching staff, Snitker moves back to managing. He last managed the AAA Richmond Braves in 2006. He also served as the manager of the Macon Braves club in 1992 and again in 1997 and 98. The Macon Braves moved to Rome, Georgia after the 2002 baseball season. Snitker, who's aged 57, joined the organization as a player in 77 and has been with the Braves in a variety of roles. He started managing in 82, and in his 17 seasons as manager, his win-loss record is 1,140 to 1,145. So he's just under 500, 499. And while we're on here, I'll just go into sports. As you know, Monday Night Football was on last night. We had the, what was the game last night? The Indianapolis Colts versus San Diego Chargers. The Chargers defeated the Colts last night 19-9, thus finishing up the week 7 of the NFL. Week 8 will be starting off Thursday night, coming soon with upcoming games. I'll give the schedule on that to, I guess, on Thursday. And also in other news, the NLCS, ALCS in baseball is still going underway. The last night's game, Monday night's game, was between the NCLS was between the Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals. The Dodgers won a must-win game over the St. Louis Cardinals 3-0. They blanked them last night. The Cardinals lead the NLCS series, lead series 2-1. They have a game tomorrow. They have a game tonight, which will be shown on Fox. And that's pretty much all our sports for today.
Wow, everybody's applauding. Believe me, everybody's.
Yes.
Yes, sons of bitches. That's what you want to see. Yeah.
Okay.
DB likes hummus-flavored cigars. Cougars.
Hummus-flavored Cougars. What is that? Are you on that stuff, man?
You know what he's talking about. All those women that smell like curry.
Oh.
Or hummus or couscous.
Couscous. Okay.
Those couscous loving women.
Jeez.
They eat with their hands and shit. They're beautiful women, but they eat with their hands. That's the only thing, Derek. Let me see. Nicole, India 56. Oh, okay, whatever.
Oh, my goodness.
There we go. There's your Bombay dream.
God,
you like bomb and bang and bomb and do all sorts of stuff with that.
Bombay dreams. You guys.
Oh, there we go. Peace. Anyway,
well,
so
I
you
mean,
like hummus-flavored cougar.
Yeah, hummus-flavored.
Let me
well,
see.
what about the Senadores?
Rudy.
They don't taste like hummus.
Here you go, Art.
Yeah, there we go. Here we go. What?
What? I don't see anything.
No, that's
baby.
me, baby.
Yeah, baby.
There's Anthony. There we are. Anthony. That's what it needs to look like. Remember that. Yeah, that's great, Ed.
Eat
Thank
more
you.
dates.
Only my friend
The
Ed.
taco flavor.
Only my friend Ed would already sees me in the grave. Shut up.
Oh.
To make one for him.
That was great.
Okay.
Make one for all of
Looks
us.
pretty good. Maybe I do want a tombstone now. Actually, I said I don't care if they burn me up and throw me around, but that looks nice. What do you think?
They can pick you up, steal your parts, and shove the 11th hour up your ass.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. I like the yeah baby. That's it.
Yours like he
I'm
versus
the yeah
Jack.
baby. I'll tell you why. I was always the one to try to spruce things up in the family, trying to make shit happen. Never happened. But I tried. Yeah, baby. I tried. But trying ain't good enough. Earth wants to be buried face down so he can
Face
kiss
down,
his
kiss his ass.
Go to hell, Michelle.
Oh,
He
my
ain't
goodness.
going nowhere. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, brother. I ain't going nowhere. Like I said, only God is going to take me out. Believe me, you're going to know there's a God if I die. You can say,
Dude,
that son of a bitch is like the guy, that little cartoon that keeps like, his legs keep jumping up. He just won't die.
Cal 3000 Derek's mom makes the best pot roast. Well, you had my mom's pot roast. You must be a friend of the family. Jeez.
Yeah, I hope they do. Anthony said, when you die off, I will predict that some of the chatters from the show will show up. Come on down, baby. Have a party. Yeah. Bring your computers also.
Wow.
Donnie Curry, Plastic Canvas, Urag, and many more. Yeah. And you.
Bring out the tiger
there,
in
son
you.
of a bitch.
And you.
But I want you to tell like the most ridiculous stories about my existence. Which begins with what? The show? No. Before that.
Well, I was at Envy Club with Howie and blah blah blah, and just fill in the blank.
I know you're right. You be there. Let me see. Donnie Curry would have a hard time finding the ceremony.
Oh, no comment. Wow.
And going in two directions. Yeah. Getting lost. Finding himself on a railroad track through his GPS. Did you hear about that? There's a GPS. I might dig up our stuff and still have him do the roast every morning. Yeah. Like, what was that? Yeah. Oh, God, yes. Oh, my God. That you talk about walking into a gravesite. He said the night that we went to WMAZ on election night, we walk in on the loser's circle.
Oh,
God,
yeah.
it was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. We were like Lenny and Squiggy entering in a room in crisis. Like, there's this crisis going on. They're all looking at child. Oh, we lost by a horrible amount of points. And Anthony shoves up with his top hat at me and Evan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hello. And Anthony sits there and gives his interview, and I'm walking around telling the other guy, trying to inspire them. Like, you see those 2 votes that you got to make sure those 2 people feel good about themselves.
Oh my goodness. Rudy Forrest says, I saw on last
It's
Walking
absolutely
Dead
hard.
that the Milshon wants the group to go to Macon. See, that's the exact same one I was talking about. They mentioned Macon on the Walking Dead on the new episode.
I didn't watch it yet.
By the way,
Yeah, I mean, it's not a spoiler alert or anything, but it was
Have
just...
you been watching the show?
Well, regular service since Breaking Bad's no longer on there, you know.
yeah, it was in Macon County.
5.5 seasons.
Anthony, you see, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Oh, Macon
that's
County.
got to be documented by us to put on some Broadway show about all the craziness that we have gone through here in Macon, including your campaign for mayor. How ridiculous was that?
Mm-hmm.
Our fight with Junebug, over Junebug, with the mayor. My run for state senator with David Lucas and Miriam. We got so much fodder.
Yeah.
So much shit to talk about on a show.
Mm-hmm.
That all are hysterical, don't you think?
Oh yeah, hysterical. We got a lot of stories. I mean, we had, you know, the letter we talked about, and that was the first. We try to have like 3 of them, at least 1 an hour, you know, on our show. Speaking of which, talking about some crazy stuff.
Yes, it was. 2013 was our year. Lucky 13. You see that?
Yes.
It means that 2013 was lucky.
Yes. Speaking
Whatever
of,
that is. I didn't get anything out of it. But
yeah, it may not be lucky for one particular person though, which is our wing dang doodle of the hour.
Yeah.
The guy Roscoe Ormond, who you know as the bald black guy, Gordon on Sesame Street, is in a pickle right now.
Oh, he has a pickle.
Yeah,
Did he get caught with his thumb up this piggy's butt?
No, that's a whole other Muppet.
That's the other guy.
Yeah, that's a New Jersey actor Roscoe Orman, who's age 71, who's best known as Gordon on the Kids Show, split with Sharon Joyner Orman, age 61, in March 2010. The pair spent 39 years together as common law husband and wife, but Orman married another woman 2 years later. Joyner Orman claimed that he had verbally promised to provide for her and said she had sacrificed her own career when he became a Sesame Street fixture for nearly 4 decades. The actor, who now has been ordered to continue paying alimony to his mother of his 4 children after he made an unwritten promise to provide for her for the rest of her life. Wow. Yes. Yeah, wow was right. When he at that point he cut off the after he married another woman 2 years later after they split back in March 2010. At that point he cut off the $3,600 a month in support he had been paying her. So when her landlord threatened to evict her from the Montclair home they previously shared, Joyner Orman sued Orman Gordon, claiming he vowed to support her for life.
Now, who is this guy? Is this Elmo?
No, this is Gordon from Sesame Street.
Wow.
The bald black guy with the mustache. You know, he played Gordon for almost 30 some odd years. Last month, Superior Court Judge Ned Rosenberg in Newark ruled in Joyner Orman's favor in what appears to be a ruling of its kind, the New Jersey Star-Ledger reported. Rosenberg said that Orman must continue paying alimony even though the unmarried couple had never agreed to anything in writing. A hearing next week will determine how much Orman owes, which we will, I guess we'll find out later this week or near the end of this month. So that's crazy.
And this is on top of Elmo.
Yes.
Who was having sexual relations with, who the hell knows?
Well, Kevin Clash, who's the puppeteer who operates Elmo, yes.
Right. So we got the Muppets going to hell.
Yeah, the Muppets going crazy.
The Muppeteers.
Yeah, Muppeteers going crazy. Sesame Street going crazy. Boy.
Yeah, this
we got the...
Yeah, man.
Anyway, no, that's an interesting story because Gordon was the character that took over for that old white guy that used to own the store, right?
Mr. Well,
and then he showed up.
Well, Gordon's been around since the beginning of the show.
But remember, there was the old man,
Mr. Hooper. Yes.
Yeah, and he used to. Then he died.
And he
then
took over.
It was taken over by this guy. Then it was taken over by that Mexican-looking guy,
Luis, who married Maria, which I thought that was really crazy. There was a love triangle between Luis, Maria, and David. And David somehow the actor who played David,
know what happens on Sesame Street.
He died of mysterious causes to this very day.
You see, all I'm saying is, these are the behind the scenes things that happens.
Yeah.
That nobody knows about.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. You have to really look up
a frog's
butt in order to figure out what's really going on Sesame Street.
Wow. I tell you,
this is worse than the Brady Bunch debacle where this guy Greg was banging that girl.
Yes.
Actually, and it was also Chachi and that little girl on Happy Days.
Joni.
Yeah, Joni and Chachi, and he was having a lot of Chachi with Joni.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these kids banging each other.
Yeah.
I think David Cassidy almost banged his late mother-in-law, or whatever she was.
Well, Tara London says, there's a reason that Sesame Street has the initials SS. It's a front for the new Nazi party.
Yeah, whatever.
What the fuck?
Tara, you on that stuff again?
Well, Kermit.
You smoking that crocodile?
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you.
Hey, listen, divide and conquer.
Yes.
Start with the kids. Give them puppets.
Yes. This particular news story was brought to you by the letters D, A, M, and N.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, no, I'm serious. I think Sesame Street.
Well, at least working out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then once Jim Henson died, it was like, when the cat's away, the mouse are at play.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you got to see that the people that they were hiring were a bunch of perverts.
Yes.
In the beginning, it was wholesome. But look at Bert and Ernie. That was the first gay couple on television.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I got something where they have them, and in the end, Ernie kills himself.
What?
I'm serious. When they're living together, having marital problems.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, look it up. I have it. Yeah.
Says Walt and Roy die and the place goes to hell. Disney, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Look at what. They had Mickey Mouse on The View yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this giant head animated object running at you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Blinking his eyes. You know, people are so stupid.
Well,
we get caught up in this mania. Like some guy with a Mickey Mouse suit on.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, it's supposed to entertain us.
Well, of course, you have to think that is kind of crazy. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, let's be honest. If it wasn't Disney, I mean, would many people go crazy over a 6-foot rodent coming after you, smiling like this? I mean, seriously,
Yeah,
if you saw a 6-foot rat coming at you, I mean,
it's like having those. No, I'm serious. It's like having those mascots.
Yeah.
Like become a part of your life. Like everywhere you go, you got this Mickey Mouse character.
Hi there, boys and girls. Yes.
You know, I just don't get it. I don't think that's what Walt Disney had in his mind. I think he had more of a vision of animation and cartoons and all that, but not put them in a big. I don't know. What do you think, Ant?
Well, Disneyland came out back in the late 50s. He died in 66, and they didn't come out with Disney World till 71, 72, something like that. So, I mean, they were just starting with that stuff out, you know, with the mask.
Yeah, the Horny Teletubbies was another one. Yeah, I look at what happened even with that big fat dinosaur, that purple dinosaur. What the hell was his name?
Barney.
Barney,
buddy. I want you to be my
Who came up with that?
PBS, I guess.
The Smurfs. People love the Smurfs. I think Anthony likes the Smurfs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I never understood that whole. I was older already, but I've seen some older kids liking Smurfs. I'm like one of the worst cartoons on television. Stupid, mindless, just rambling on. Kind of like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
On a daily basis with a costume on. Could you imagine that?
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Quest, that was another. Johnny Quest was all right.
Yeah.
Actually, Spider-Man was better.
Mm-hmm.
But the best out of all of them, to me, was the Batman and the Superman on Saturday mornings, where they work together. That whole team of superheroes.
Yeah.
Because you got a little of everything. But also there was remember Speed Racer? Remember Speed Racer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was kind of a superhero.
Used to watch that on TBS back in the day.
And Kimber the Lion. Remember Kimber the Lion? That was a ripoff that Disney did. Speaking of Disney, Disney ripped off Simba the Lion, which was a Japanese version of The Lion King. Except that the lion was an all-white lion, and his name was not Kimba, but Simba. Simba, S-I-M-B-A, Simba the Lion. Yeah. Yeah, Sid and Marty Krofft, they did great with the
Michelle's
Sea Monster and all
Kung
that
Fu Dog. It was Hong Kong Fooey. That was his name, Hong Kong Fooey. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember those cartoons, but I used to love the Monkeys.
Oh,
remember the Monkeys?
Lancelot Link, the chimp, yeah.
I played that last week when you were out.
Oh, really?
And
Remember
some
the
really
Monkeys?
boring-ass Twilight Zone and Outer Limits.
Yeah.
God, that shit was boring.
I still got that music in my head that you played in that video. By the way, remember the Banana Splits?
Yeah.
And there was the Monkeys. The Banana Splits came together on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it would be one show, and then you would jump into Banana Splits. First, it was the Monkeys. That was the lead show. Then it would jump into the Banana Splits. Then it would go to HR Puffin stuff.
Yeah.
Then it would go into Sigmund and the Sea Monster, which was the kid from Family Affair. Forrest Whitaker, whatever, the other Whitaker.
Johnny Whitaker.
Johnny
Forrest Whitaker's a big black guy.
Yeah, he was a white version of Forrest Whitaker. Yeah. You guys remember that? No? Anthony, you remember that, don't you?
Buddy, you got a long way to go.
That was every Saturday. And my mom would be cooking bacon and eggs and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I remember
it was
News
wonderful.
Review. Yes.
Saturdays was the best at my house. Because you had the cartoons blowing, my mother cooking bacon and eggs and all sorts of stuff in the kitchen, and all of us riveted to the Monkeys or Banana Splits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michelle Stacy. What about that pink cat that looked like the Pink Panther video would say, "Exit, stage right, heavens to Murgatroyd." Snagglepuss. Yeah, do you think he was on the down low?
Who?
Snagglepuss, one of the first gay cartoon
Oh, yes,
characters?
he was. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Yeah.
Yes.
And
is
by
it
the way-
stage right, or is it left even?
Well, if you remember, I mean, all those gay characters were coming in at that time. Remember Kazoo?
Yeah.
Remember Kazoo?
Yeah, the Great
From the
Gazoo.
Flintstones.
Oh yeah, the Great Gazoo.
And you remember him?
Yeah.
Whose voice was him?
Who
Who made his voice? If anybody out there in trivia,
Whose voice?
Oh, the Great Gazoo?
the Kazoo. Kazoo, remember
From
Kazoo?
the
The little,
Flintstones?
huh?
From the Flintstones?
From the Flintstones. Who is the voice of Kazoo?
Yeah, I remember. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, Marvin the Martian is another gay guy, right? No, it wasn't Mel Blanc, Anthony. It was not Mel Blanc. Surprisingly, it was. Mel Blanc was a great Mel Blanc.
Even though he was the voice of Barney Rubble on the Flintstones.
He was.
And
Mel
Nina.
Blanc was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, it wasn't Phil Silverman either. It was Harvey Korman. Harvey Korman from the Great Carol Burnett Show.
It was, Harvey Korman who
Harvey
portrayed him in the
Korman.
animated version, and Alan Cumming who did the live action version of the Great Gazoo when they did the prequel of the Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas.
Yeah, which doesn't really count. That's
Yeah,
bullshit. But anyway, Kazoo, oh, look at him. He's right there. Hey, yeah, just see if you can take the little Kazoo and put my face on him. Like you do with your pictures. That would be fabulous.
I'll send it to Ed. I'll send the
Yeah,
link
send it to Ed.
I got the picture.
Okay.
Oh, you
yeah.
do? Oh, okay.
All right. While Ed works on that great new picture that he's going to put out.
It's cartoon.
There it is. I love it. There's
Yeah.
Kazoo. Now Ed's going to stick my face in that
It's not gonna
Kazoo.
work with a cartoon. I'll stick your face in it.
Well, I got to copy this thing. Send it to me too, will you, pal?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I already put the link on.
Oh, cool. All right, here we go. There we go. The Great Kazoo.
Yeah, Betty was equal to Marianne
Snap.
from Gilligan's Island. Yeah, because Betty was cuter than woman. Marianne was cuter.
Yeah, Betty
Ginger.
was equal to Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island, really?
I just didn't.
How do you
Yeah,
make
I
that
just didn't like.
connection?
You know what's really sad about it? Those live action movies of the Flintstones. The sequel or the prequel, the second movie, actually was better casted, but it had a terrible script, terrible plot.
Yeah.
But the first one had a better plot, but it was terribly casted. I mean, you had Halle Berry, you know, she's beautiful. She's supposed to play Sharon Stone, but they wanted to get Sharon Stone to play Sharon Stone. But it had to get, but she was doing that movie Casino with Robert De Niro, that Scorsese movie, and they ended up getting Halle Berry to play Sharon Stone. They could have, I mean, since she is, ethnic, they could at least change her name to Rosetta Stone. I mean, hello. But but it sounds more
Rosetta
black.
Stone.
It sounds more black than
Why?
Sharon
She's
Stone.
very
Rosetta?
Yeah, Rosetta.
And she's very fluent.
But
in every
isn't
language.
Rosetta Stone some kind of language?
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Rosetta Stone is fluent in every language.
Yes. Because hot is hot no matter what language you're in. Yeah. And plus, but
I never got that.
But the thing is, I'm just ticked off that they had Rosie O'Donnell. They could have found somebody, but they just hired her because she was the only one, or at least only known actress that could do the Betty Rubble laugh. That type of thing. They couldn't.
Well, then
You can't have no skinny Wilma and a fat ass Betty Rubble.
Let me
That
just
makes no
say
sense.
that I think there's a conspiracy going on here. You got puppets with people putting their hands up puppets' butts, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now they're all being exposed. A lot of them is perverts or
Yes.
this kind of stuff. I think that they chose Rosie O'Donnell because they wanted to convey that Betty was really a lesbian or closet lesbian.
Oh, because they had the Dot Bam 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 Man was an orphan. Well, they didn't. Well, they could.
Not only that, Barney was a short shrimpo, and Betty was cute.
Well, yeah, in the cartoon,
her
but
and
not in the
Wilma
live,
were
but
having
not in the live action movie. But maybe they weren't trying to have a gay lesbian thing. Maybe they're trying to say that Barney wasn't
Wasn't banging her.
Yeah, wasn't banging. He wasn't doing the bam bam bam. Even though the son
Yeah.
was named Bam Bam, but he wasn't doing the bamming or ramming, whatever you want the case may be, or the slamming. Maybe he had maybe he had ED back then.
Maybe.
But they just didn't have.
maybe-
They just didn't have the medication that back then during the Stone Age, I guess. But
I always wondered about Barney and Betty. They were always kind of this odd couple, right?
yeah,
I mean, the fact that he was shorter and all that, but what I'm saying is they weren't as close as, like you always saw Fred.
mm-hmm.
Didn't he kiss Wilma?
Yeah, he
Did
kissed
he ever
Wilma.
kiss Wilma?
Yeah, he kissed Wilma. They had to. They had pebbles, that's for sure.
Well, no, I'm
did
saying
knock
on the
us.
show. Did they ever show them kissing? Did they?
Yeah, they were the first. In fact, they were the first. In fact, Fred and Wilma were the first couple to actually sleep in the same bed.
Right. Yeah, not
So
even
yeah, they
Lucy
had
and
to.
Desi did that.
They had to. Fred knocked Wilma up, so of course.
Yeah, they did. Michelle just mentioned that before you mentioned it.
Oh man.
They are the first couple to sleep in the same bed. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, well, they never showed him on top of her or anything, right?
Yeah, show up that vertical smile, honey.
Well, I guess he's telling us it's
It's
10:02.
10:01.
Going on 10:02.
That's interruption. We need to go
She's
to break.
giving you the best years of her life. This Christmas, show her how special she is with the big, thick, hard meat stick from Dickory Farm.
Wow. And that's what Michelle wants.
Yes.
She wants something from Dickory Farm.
Well, it's that time.
Well, it's 10:02 right
Funny,
now.
Anthony. It's one of those jokes that deserve no mental thought.
Yes, it's 66 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia.
We're
You're
coming
watching-
back last hour.
Yeah, the last hour. 2 done and 1 to go. We're watching the Morning Roast live from the Nut House in Macon, Georgia with Irv, Ed, and DB. We'll be right back. Don't touch that remote or computer mouse.
Don't go anywhere. You already pulled it off.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Thank you so much,
Mm-hmm.
Norchak. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
We got a new picture.
All right.
Check it out, Ed.
I can-
Ah, that's lovely.
Thank
you
you
know what?
very
Maybe
much.
that ought to go on our new heading.
Oh, yes.
We're long overdue, a new heading. Don't you think, folks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you so much. It is a wonderful present. I love when
Thank you very much.
our chatters do that. Wow, what are you doing, Anthony?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Anthony,
he's,
did you die on
he's
us?
imitating the 2 female ex-cons that got the life sentence and stuff because they killed this 3-year-old girl and stuff, and the judge said, "Look, y'all look the way this, way how that child was like tormented and stuff and beaten to death and stuff. I have no other choice but to give them life sentence, and they just freaked. They thought they were gonna get the P pass. It's like, well, we're not gonna get,
Yeah.
And then they find out they got life. They freaked the heck out.
Everybody's being so dramatic around here. What the hell's going on? It's funny that we're doing this. I swear to God, this travels with me.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere I go. I have roommates that I would call up, and all I would do was yell out like, ah.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony does that to me all the time. I have another brother in Baltimore that does that. Another guy that's married that does that.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that whole follows me everywhere I go. All that drama.
Yeah.
All that drama. Anthony calls me up. Ah. I mean, this is the way we say hello to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I never do that with you, Derek, because you never answer the damn phone. But if you would answer your phone, I would do the same shit. With you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a Budweiser commercial.
What's that?
Perfectly mentioned, Undertaker. That's exactly what it is. But that happens in real life, folks. It's not an act. It's just what happens. Yeah. DB's too busy eating, he said. Eating and then paying a price for it. By the way, that whole shit that happened to you was something to do with vitamins. Or something.
Yeah.
You didn't eat right that day.
I didn't eat right, plus I didn't drink I didn't drink enough water, which basically made me dehydrated. Plus, and then try to fill it up with some Mellow Yellow, which is might as well just been drinking
you
a
were
tall
Mellow
glass
Yellow,
of
all right.
Yeah, it's like drinking a tall glass of molasses or something. Just nothing but straight sugar.
Yeah.
Like,
is Mellow Yellow a racist name?
Well, no, because it's yellow.
Yeah. What's so mellow about yellow? Yellow's kind of can make you crazy. Isn't it exciting?
Well, truth be told, they were discontinued for a while because a lot of people,
because they tasted bad.
Well, it had more sugar.
Who the hell likes that shit? Mellow Yellow.
I liked it because they used to sell it at the movie theaters. I used to love the flavors.
Really?
Because it was, like sodas, have a lot of sugar, caffeine, and it was the only other soda that had more sugar than Mountain Dew. And Mountain Dew has a lot.
Well, they all have sugar. Aren't they
Yeah.
like, it's a sugar product, isn't it? I mean, it's water and sugar and what else? And coloring.
And high fructose corn syrup.
And
HFCS.
glucosamine.
Yeah.
Or whatever they put in that shit. It's all chemicals. None of that is pure. Even the purified water, they're saying that you gotta watch that purified spring water because it does something to your system that the bad bacteria in your stomach, actually it helps that. It helps grow your bad bacteria, which is okay for a certain amount. We all need bacteria in our stomach to break food down, but it feeds that string of bacteria, and what happens is you got no energy. You're all screwed up. You got heartburn and rectal rockets and all sorts of shit going on with your stomach.
Especially when you eat that, that Philly steak sub that they have right now. That's just asking for trouble, man. At least for me, because you have, a lot of people used to get sick from, I think, one of them hamburger places because it was a Philly steak burger, because you have Philly steak and then you have hamburger steak. You have two different forms of meats right there. That's just a bubble gut bomb ready to blow.
Yeah,
right
speaking of bombs, maybe that's where Mellow Yellow came from, as Anthony says. He says after we bombed the Japanese, they became mellow as hell. Yeah, well, there wasn't anybody left, and they're growing up with two heads now, and weird eyes and all that shit.
You think because...
all that radiation.
Do you think because of that radiation? Do you think maybe because a lot of, like when we were talking about, there were a lot of Asian people who used to be thought it was really short. Now Asians are becoming much, much taller.
Yeah.
You have Yao Ming in NBA who's like 7 feet. Jeremy Lin, who used to play for the Nets, he's 6'2". Michelle Wie, the female golfer, she's 6'1".
Yeah, all those people are coming out all like freakazoids.
That's a lot. Yeah, I mean,
that's why I'm afraid that if China like takes over the world, we're gonna be like the most.
They'll stop you
like Godzilla. Now? It's gonna be horrible. I mean, look, and it's in that that whole culture is like that. If you go to Flushing Meadows, Flushing, Queens, okay, it became while I was there. Within 5 years, it became like all Korean. Like every niche in Flushing Meadow Park, in Flushing, Queens, New York, became a Korean store from Korea. So you're talking very ethnic. And they had the Burger King and the McDonald's, which was infamous with the big slaughter that happened in that McDonald's in Flushing, Queens, about 20 years ago. Where like the whole staff was murdered. And right next door to that McDonald's was a fish market. And they used to put all that fish, ugly smelling, horrid, wretched water on the street. So you would walk by there and you would get the heaviest woof of dead fish and carcass that you could imagine. It was horrible. It's still that way if you go there. Could you imagine you're going to McDonald's and you pass a woof of rotting fish carcass on the street?
Yeah.
I mean, it was terrible. Why am I saying this?
Yeah, why?
Because just like everything else, you know, they bomb the hell out of the places with a fish smelling carcass. And I'm afraid that if a country like China takes over, that all our streets are going to smell like rotting fish carcasses. And we're going to be overrun with all these stores on top of each other. And nobody wants to give you good customer service. So you can imagine how horrible is that. Right, Anthony? Am I right? Am I right, Anthony? Do you not think that the world will become one big smelly fish carcass if the Chinese take over? Which is what they were talking about. They were talking about it on the news, folks. They were saying, what's going to happen if the American dollar falls down the toilet? It's going to be the Chinese that pick it up. We're going to have Chinese money. I mean, it happened in America already and it happened in Europe, as a matter of fact, with the pound. The English pound was the number one money source around the world. And where's their money now? Who does anything in pounds anymore?
Well,
nobody does that. Like, I have 10 pounds. Nobody does that shit anymore. And at one time, the Europeans were the ones who had the world currency. So it's it should be no surprise to anybody that our currency could possibly fall in the level of worse than even the English dollar or pound, whatever they call it. You see what I'm saying?
That was Anthony's idea.
Oh, okay.
And if we're going to start to have Chinese money, look, our plates are made in China.
Why do you think they call China?
Fine China.
Everything. Our shirts, our clothes, the food is coming from China. Even the technology is being stolen and then brought back to us. I mean, you think about it. Why wouldn't the currency all of a sudden be made in China? Why would that be so out of the ordinary? Yeah, you go figure. You go figure. Could you imagine if we got to live by what the hell do they even call it?
What?
What do they call it? Chinese yen? Is it still a yen?
Yuan.
Yuan. What is that? Yuan?
Well, it's spelled Y-U-A-N. Yeah,
yuan.
1 pound is worth $1.50. Yeah,
Yuan.
$1.59. So if you bought something that's like $10, it would probably be 15 pounds in England, or $16, 16 pounds.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do much.
Actually, I take that back. Actually, it'd be $16 here, and then 10 pounds in England. Yeah.
Yeah, $1.59. A pound is worth $1.50, $1.59. Okay, that's the current estimate there.
Yeah.
So it's like the metric system, another piece of shit system that they come up with, where they don't give me exactly a rounded off number. $1, $2, $3, $4. Don't give me this $1.59 shit, and don't give me this other metric system where a liter is a gallon and something else, whatever the hell it is.
Well, actually, yeah, a liter is 0.6 of a gallon.
Yeah, no wonder we're all confused. And then that's a problem, folks. That's
and
what's
a gallon
happen.
a gallon is 3.76 liters.
It's a good way to control the mind, where you're not going to know how much money you really have. You're really not. Yeah, and if you don't know how much money you have, you don't know how much you spend. So that Chinese yuan, whatever they call it, yuan, it's going to be confusing if it becomes the...
so if you work at Burger King, so Michelle, if you can work at Burger King, you can easily get take your money to Mexico. You'll be able to get a mansion like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bullshit. This is Rabbi Schlesinger. That's a rabbi.
The words of Eric Martinez and his alone and does not reflect Derek Barrett, Ed Einbein, or the Morning Rose, Vaughn Live, or the World Wide Web.
All right.
Just want to let you know. I had to put that disclaimer. But anyway.
Yeah, so let's be serious here. I'm now speaking as a rabbi. Now, I have to... Ed, could you pass me the damn... I got to read under the mask. All right. Of course, this is up until May, so I'll have to look it up. All right, here we go. Our daily bread for today. I'm going to go a little Jew on you here. All right, here we go. And I'm going to bring you back to your childhood. You remember we were talking about that today. You remember that? We were talking about...
the cartoons we used to watch.
Rabbi Herb.
Yeah. So, as Rabbi Herb, I give this message to you. Of course, it wasn't written by me. It was written by a guy named Randy Kilgore. For October 15, 2013, our Morning Roast title today is Dreams of Childhood. Years ago, I asked 5th grade students to prepare a list of questions to ask Jesus if he were to show up in person the following week. I also asked groups of adults to do the same thing. The results were startlingly different. The kids' question ranged from adorable to poignant. Will we have to sit around in robes and sing all day long in heaven? Will my puppy be in heaven? Were the whales in or out of the ark? How's my grandpa doing up there with you? Almost without fail, their questions were free from doubt that heaven existed or that God acts supernaturally. Adults, on the other hand, featured a completely different line of questioning. Why do bad things happen to good people? How do I know you're listening to my prayers? Why is there only one way to heaven? How could a loving God let this tragedy happen to me? For the most part, children live life unfettered by the cares and the sorrows that burden adults. Their faith lets them trust God more readily. While we adults often get lost in trials and sorrows, Children retain the psalmist's view of life, an eternal perspective that sees the greatness of God. Psalm 8, verse 1 and 2. God can be trusted, and he longs for us to trust him the way children do. Matthew 18, verse 3. Our Father, may I find again the dreams of childhood, when thoughts of you filled me with peace, and I long to know you more. Give me the faith that trusts you implicitly. An intimate walk with God lifts our eyes from today's trials and into eternity's triumphs. And your Bible read for today, dear children, out of the mouth of babes and nursing infants, you have ordained strength. Psalm verses 8, chapter 8 rather, verse 2. There you have it.
That is ordained.
Rabbi Irv has spoken. Thank you. Thank you. There's no bacon here today. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed. Yes, please send me some money. That's right. Why the hell not? Thank you, Ed.
Fish.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff. Okay.
Crazy
There you go. There's one reaction. Let me see. First question, do you bowl? Stupid. Yeah, I bowl. Bowl you over. Anyway, check the Morning Roast page. It'll be on there. And also check my Facebook at Irving Martinez on Facebook. There you have it. All right, so I love the rabbi look there, Ed. Actually, that does look like me. I had a hat like that. I think I still do. I do still have a bowler somewhere. I don't wear it because I look so Jewish. I don't like the way I look now. I don't know what I look like now. What do you think? I look rebellious.
Yeah, we're really rebellious.
You know, it's funny. I just realized something. You're in light colors. I'm in dark colors today.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm just basically just wearing lights because I'm trying to be, conscious to the climate.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, even though it is the fall, I'm still wearing, some clothing because I know that lighter clothing reflect the sun.
Yeah.
So it won't be as hot. And, it's not really winter yet, so I probably might wear more darker clothing during the wintertime because you absorb heat with darker clothes.
Yes, you
colors,
do.
Like black and purple, brown, yeah.
Yes, you do, Tiger Wood. And by the way, seriously, first of all, Michelle Stacy, in answer to your comment that the pic of me as a pope negates that he is reading the Bible, it really takes strength in order to stay composed and listen to the message and not be distracted by anything else. It only proves whether you are able to multitask and still get the message, but yet somehow your eyes are distracted by pictures and whatever that's happening. It's a test of your faith. So, there you go. Am I right? Thank you. Time for a shot. Yeah, it's like you have to remember something. You have to remember what people say, not what they do.
Yeah.
What they do comes afterwards. It's you make a statement, I'm going to be a millionaire, and then you go out and try to be one.
Mm-hmm.
They say actions speak louder than words. They can speak louder only if, first of all, you got to speak the word and say it loud enough so that it gets ingrained in your brain. Not worry about, the distractions that are around you. You hanging around with guns all day, that's all you focus on.
Okay.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. We got breaking news from LA Airport, LAX.
Yeah, breaking news.
Literally breaking.
We're going to break off with this, Michelle.
Break a piece off of it, yes.
That's all you get from me.
It says 4 ice bombs were found at LAX to explode. Some crazy stuff going on right there in LA. There were 3 bottles. There were 3 bottles of dry ice inside, according to the LAX police. 4 dry ice bombs were found in restricted areas in the Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, late last night. 2 of them exploded. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The devices appeared to be outside the terminal near planes, according to television news footage. No injuries were reported, according to the police, adding that there were minimal disruption of normal airport activities. It all started when the airport worker heard an explosion while he was in the bathroom. He found 2 plastic bottles full of dry ice. Strangely, the area where the bombs were placed is off limits to the public.
Horrible.
Yes, at this time, police have not linked the bombs to terrorism. The FBI and LAPD both are currently investigating the situation.
You know, I just saw this recently. There was, I don't know if you saw guys ever get on cable. Mm-hmm. For those of you that have cable. There's a show that's called Caught on Camera. Mm-hmm. And then it said dumb people acting dumber or some bullshit. Mm-hmm. And they had this, it was in Japan. And what they did was they were trying to bring a message of being clean and not to throw all those little bottles and things like that with makeup and shampoo bottles and all that shit. Not to litter the streets with that, or something to that effect. All these bottles and all that we use on our products, our everyday product. So they lined up a whole bunch of shampoos and lotions and all that, and they put a steamroller over it. Mm-hmm. Do you know that shit started exploding like bombs and fire and mayhem while the steamroller was rolling, and it was like fireworks going off. So, needless to say,
there were no matches around.
No, it was a steamroller with heat on it. Mm-hmm. They were going to melt the bottles. Like they were going to melt it down as some kind of a protest. But instead, all the bottles went and started exploding on this. And the guys got fireballs going up behind them and everything. And then all of a sudden they stopped it because it was they were exploding like little bombs in this long, about a half a block long trail that they made of thousands and thousands of these little bottles, with some of them with cologne on it.
I see. Well, colognes are flammable.
And I started thinking, no wonder why they don't want shampoos going on airplanes. Some of this shit is flammable.
Yeah.
It has alcohol in it. Think about it. Think about it. Your shampoo has alcohol in it. Some of it. Or some source of alcohol. Or benzene, or who the hell knows what they use in shampoo today.
Right.
When they say style, fried, dyed, and blown to the side, they're not kidding.
Yeah.
Women use these crazy products that, and men, that are very flammable. Mm-hmm. Am I right? Yeah, you use napalm-based shampoo.
Ew.
Yeah. Ew.
Well,
I wouldn't use the word ill for napalm. I would say shit. What are you talking about?
Well, more like kaboom.
Kaboom.
Than probably anything else.
Well, that's what it did. I swear to you, I was watching this thing, and you see it exploding like firecrackers and bombs, little bombs going off. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, that is crazy shit. Could you imagine? That's the reason why maybe they want a certain amount that you need to bring on airplanes because they are somewhat flammable.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought.
Yeah, it is something to think about. Very something to think about. Talking about, science and space. Speaking of space, of course, we know this past weekend, Mercury 7 astronaut, part of the Mercury 7, Scott Carpenter died this past weekend.
Who's that?
He was the second American to orbit the Earth.
Oh yeah,
died this past weekend.
Yeah, John Glenn's the only guy left.
Yes, Carpenter was part of the original Mercury 7 astronauts chosen by NASA, which said he died from complications after a stroke. He was a backup pilot for John Glenn, ahead of America's first manned orbital space flight in February 1962. He was the second American to orbit the Earth. The first one was Alan Shepard, who died back, I think, in 2008. Carpenter flew the second American manned orbital flight of May of that year, 1962. Flight time was 4 hours and 54 minutes, according to the NASA biography.
Wow.
Carpenter's spacecraft overshot its landing target by some 250 nautical miles, giving rise to fears about his fate. With Carpenter's death, John Glenn is the lone survivor of the Mercury 7, which included Carpenter, John Glenn, L. Gordon Cooper, Virgil Gus Grissom, Walter Schirra, Alan Shepard, and Donald Deke Slayton.
They're all dead now.
Yes. And also we had another person who died, another legend, but only in the view of music. Maxine Powell, the mentor to the Motown stars. She dies at the age of 98. Yes.
Wow. There you have it.
Mm-hmm.
What was she?
She was a mentor to some of the singers of Motown. Maxine Powell, she was the mentor behind the smooth success and individual charm of Motown record stars for almost 5 decades. She died yesterday.
She was a mentor?
Yes. She was, according to the Detroit Free Press, she was 98 years old. Powell, who started as a personal development coach with Motown in 1964, was known for teaching Motown artists how to walk, talk, and even think with class, I guess, whenever they were being interviewed. She played an influential role in nurturing its future stars, including Diana Ross and Marvin Gaye, by giving them lessons in media relations and proper manners. Mary Wilson, an original member of Motown Supremes, quoted Powell as saying, "One day you may be performing before kings and queens." And Mary Wilson was quoted, "We actually did in a 2002 interview with CNN, but it was because we taught us how to sit, to talk and all of these kinds of things." Actually, yes, they did perform, because I think Supremes did. There was a Motown tour they did go to England. They had a European tour back in the early 60s, and which was ironic, the European population, the white Europeans, actually loved their music a lot more than the Americans did.
Well, and they also love Jerry Lewis more, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they literally did perform in front of Queen Elizabeth and the royal family, I think, during the mid-60s, around the same time the British invasion was going on here in America with the Beatles and Rolling Stones. In a statement yesterday, Motown founder Berry Gordy said that Powell was tough, but, quote-unquote, poised, professional, and very thankful, quote-unquote, as she worked with artists. Gordy's statement quoted Powell as telling the young artist, "I love you all, but don't confuse me with your mother. She's stuck with you. I'm not." She brought something to Motown that no other record company has had. She was a star in her own right and original, according to Berry Gordy. As she said, she was 98 years old. And she'll be
for a pigeon, she's flown very far.
Yes.
So, and hopefully she didn't shit on anybody along the way.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah.
To some entertainment news closer to home, the Georgia National Fair, according according to our Channel 13, was the second best attendance ever they had. The Georgia National Fair closed this past Sunday night on October 13th, and its fair attendance for 2013 was the second best ever. Fair officials said today that 449,885 people, almost 450,000 people, showed up at the fair in Perry this year. That's nearly 4,500 more than last year. Attendance rose despite threats of a tropical storm during its first weekend and 2 days of rain and government furloughs. Their highest record, they set their record back in 2010. Their highest record was 465,053 people passed through the turnstile. So imagine if they didn't have the tropical storm warning and the government furloughs, they'd probably be able to get like maybe 470,000, maybe even a whole 500, maybe a whole 500,000. But I guess that'll probably be their goal soon. But congratulations to Georgia National Fair with a very successful turnout, with nearly 450,000 people attending this past 2 weeks.
Well,
Wow.
what else is in the news, Derek?
Oh, there was some crazy stuff going on. There was a mother who was this is from naturallymoi.com. In Manola, New York, there was a woman who drowned her kids who tries to collect on their $350,000 estate. In Manola, New York, a mentally disturbed mother who drowned her 3 young children in a bathtub is set to appear in court to ask for a piece of the kids' $350,000 estate, I guess in insurance. Ruled on the list passed last week, 33-year-old Latrice Brewer will leave an upstate psychiatric facility to appear in front of Judge Edward McCarty in Nassau's County Surrogate Court next month to testify about her request for the money. In February 2008, Brewer admitted to drowning her 3 children, ages 1, 5, and 6, in a bathtub located in her apartment in Newcastle, Long Island. She then placed their lifeless bodies on a bed and attempted to kill herself by consuming a number of household cleaning products. When her attempt to poison herself failed, she tried to jump out of her second-story window, and she also survived that incident. But psychiatrists determined Brewer suffered from a major depressive disorder. Allegedly, Brewer killed her children in an attempt to protect them from the fatal effects of voodoo, supposedly. The mentally ill mother did not face trial on 3 murder counts involving her children's deaths. She instead pleaded not responsible by reason of mental insanity. But the case is set to establish a precedent in New York, and if Brewer succeeds in the win, she will not be able to collect the money because of a $1.2 million lien against her for counseling and other services provided for her while under arrest. Although Judge McCarthy acknowledged the law involving Brewer's case, Brewer's attorney noted that Brewer was never convicted and the law shouldn't apply to her. Brewer is set to appear in court on November 6th. Crazy.
I just sent you. It's very important. It's about the debt ceiling.
Okay. Yes, we also got something here.
Read the clause that they put in. I love that.
Okay. That's crazy. Oh, yes. This is a House GOP to offer shutdown plan with Obamacare changes. It says possible bright days in the U.S. Senate could mean a long day in the House. Senate leaders from both parties say a deal is near to end the partial government shutdown. The government shutdown to avoid a potential default as soon as this week. However, House Republicans decided today to offer their own proposal that would tack on provisions changing President Barack Obama's signature healthcare reforms in what appeared to be a last-gasp effort to influence the agreement to reopen the government and raise the federal borrow limit, the debt ceiling. According to GOP sources and confirmed by Republican Representative Darrell Issa of California, the House plan would include most of what is in the Senate agreement while adding a provision to suspend an Obamacare tax on medical devices for 2 years and remove federal health care subsidies for Obama and legislators while they attain health coverage under the reforms.
I guess they're not exempt anymore, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, that's the way it should have been.
Exactly.
There's 2 things about Obamacare. Number 1, you don't want it, you don't get it. That's the way it should be. Number 2, nobody should be exempt. And number 3, if you don't get it, you shouldn't be fined if you don't want it. But if you go to the hospital and you ain't got it, then fucking go jump in the fucking sewer then.
Says Issa said in a House vote that said a House vote could occur as early as the Tuesday night tonight, when Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid indicated yesterday, that his talks with GOP counterpart Mitch McConnell could yield an agreement during the day. Reid said last night, that the negotiations with McConnell made tremendous progress toward an agreement, raising hopes among investors, world leaders, and regular Americans that the shutdown stalemate was nearing an end. And the question, I guess, where it says that there's a deal, then what's next? What's going to happen?
No, it's got to go to the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to let this government fall apart. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but that's not in the cards.
Of course, because they don't want to be known, and they don't want to be part of the wrong side of history.
They're going to come up with it last second. Everybody's going to be happy, and then we go back to the same shit somewhere in February.
Mm-hmm.
February. Look for no love on.
No, I don't even think it's that long of an extension. I think they're talking like November.
Well,
like another month or 2 months, and that's it.
What they want to do, the current proposal is they want the government reopen and then deal with the issues by January. I believe it's January 15th or 17th.
Mm-hmm.
To deal with a budget up to that point, and then up to that point deal with the budget for February, from February on. And what's going to happen is we're going to run into more of this shit, more of this politic dysfunction is going to happen for around Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Around Valentine's Day, there's going to be no love lost. It's going to be like a bad marriage. Everybody's accusing everybody of doing everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's helping.
Crazy.
That's unfortunate because that's where we're at. I mean, we're in a country right now that's so dysfunctional that it's showing the world that we ain't got to act together. That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're not hearing much about Russia and China and their economy. I mean, our economy is supposedly the #1 economy in the world, and yet we can't even decide on where to spend the money.
Well, the money's been spent frivolously.
And so far, the average American getting bit in the backside. Speaking of getting bit.
Yeah. We got a dog bite.
Yeah. This is from MrConservative.com, and this is something that's quite peculiar. I mean, people thought about it. I never thought they actually wrote a story about it. It says that police dogs only bite Latinos and African Americans. Are they racist? I guess this will be the wing dang doodle of the hour.
Yeah, let's do that. Wing dang doodle. Wing dang doodle.
Yes. For years, the Los Angeles law enforcement has been accused of being racist. Indeed, it was the Los Angeles Police Department's racist reputation that helped destroy the prosecution's case against O.J. Simpson. Now, though, the racism charges have literally gone to the dogs. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, LASD, stands accused of having racist dogs. A nonprofit company called Police Assessment Resource Center, PARC, P-A-R-C, has released a report that examines the LASD's canine special detail. This report reveals something peculiar. Police dogs are biting blacks and Hispanics in ever-increasing numbers. Indeed, in the first 6 months of 2013, LASD dogs bit only blacks or Latinos.
Now we have...
The reports show that between 2004 and 2012, the number of Latinos that LASD dogs bit increased by 30%, while the number of blacks that LASD dogs bit increased by 33%.
Now we have racist dogs. Ain't that funny?
These numbers are important because dog bites inflict many more injuries than tear gas, batons, or even guns, according to PARC. So...
Wow.
PRC Park notes that there are very few LASD dog bite incidents in Los Angeles County's more affluent areas that now coincidentally have fewer minorities. Of course, these affluent areas also have less crime. Park acknowledges this last fact, but still thinks something fishy is going on. Says, quote-unquote, crime rates are lower in these areas, but the stark disparity leads us to wonder why canine deployments seem to occur disproportionately in less affluent areas with larger minority populations. Eric Holder's Department of Justice, which finds racism hiding behind every tree, has recently concluded that allegedly...
well, it's how they train them. I mean, you think about it.
Yes.
These dogs are being trained, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you remember not too long ago, they had training for police officers where they had that cutout figure looking with the hoodie, and it looked like Trayvon Martin.
Well, not only that,
and I'm sure that they're using training methods where they use black people or something that, you know, a guy that dressed like a black guy.
Well, not just that, not just
to
Trayvon
attack
Martin.
him, and they're trained to attack
well,
black people.
Even before Trayvon Martin, people who heard of Trayvon Martin, there were also pictures and silhouettes of black people, particularly in big afros, in running positions or something like that.
Yeah,
and
I'm just saying. I mean, you wonder what's being trained.
And also brown people, Latino people wearing sagging pants because people thought they were gangbangers and stuff. But according to this, says that the DOJ, Eric Holder, says that recently concluded that LASD deputies are more likely to stop blacks than any other race, with Latinos in very close second place, according to LA Times.
It's pretty simple. I mean, look, we're not saying that the whole police department is racist. I'm just saying you're going to have elements.
In LA, that is.
And in LA. I mean, their excuse is, well, that's all we have here. Mm-hmm. These are the people who seem to be doing all the crime. Mm-hmm. That's their excuse. Right?
Right.
Who's committing all the crimes?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Very true.
I don't know.
Very true.
Maybe the
mestizos.
And blacks are getting bit more because they commit more crimes. Well, I just said that. Mm-hmm. But what the hell is a mestizo? What is that?
Mestizos. That's basically Latino people mixed with white and late Native American blood.
Well, thank you for bringing a new freaking terminology into this picture. Mm-hmm. I never heard of that.
You never?
It looks like something you eat. Like
mestizos.
Mentos and Doritos.
Okay. I think we'll probably go. Yeah, I think we're probably time to go into wordsmith and who said it first. Since we're here.
Ellis from May. All right, time for a shot. Why not?
Okay. We got a story here. Well, our word for the day.
I'm still debating on who to vote for, but I'm gonna go. I guess I'm gonna go with Ellis. I'm still debating it though. It's so hard, folks.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like you had to flip a coin. Yeah.
If they could work together, I'd be happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Maybe Ellis could be vice mayor.
Oh, Ellis got to be the black guy. Got to be.
I don't know.
They don't want to have a Negro in charge, I guess. I don't know.
But
I'm just saying.
But
I don't know.
Wordsmith, today's word.
I'm all confused with this election. Yes. Really, it's been a horror show. A horror show. I'm just afraid Ellis and Lucas and these guys, they're still going to stick with their band of way of doing politics. We don't want all that freaking drama anymore. Mm-hmm. Maybe we do need a mundane kind of mayor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Our wordsmith, yes. Since we talked about the late Motown legend who died in 1898.
Because we're looking at you. Well, what do I need to look at him for?
Our word for the day is music. Since we talked about the Motown legend who passed away recently. Etymologically, music, the word music comes from the Muses, M-U-S-E-S, the Greek goddesses who inspired poets, painters, and musicians and what have you, etc. The word traces its history back via Old French musique, M-U-S-I-Q-U-E, and Latin musica to Greek mousike, M-O-U-S-I-K-E, a noun use of musicos, of the muses, quote unquote. an adjective derived from mousa, muse. The specialization of the word's meaning began in Greek, first to poetry sung to music, or songs, I guess, and subsequently to music alone, M-U-S-I-C. And who said it first? Who said this first? This is going to be a nice one right here. Who said that first? When you've got it, flaunt it. Written by Mel Brooks for the 1968 movie The Producers, Zero Mostel, playing the role of financially strapped Broadway producer Max Bialystock, sees from his office window someone arrive in the street below in a white Rolls Royce. In ironic desperation at his own right, Bialystock shrieks at the unfortunate stranger, "That's it, baby! When you got it, flaunt it! Flaunt it!" It's crazy.
Sounds like something you say in a strip club.
So you say
Or
that
you put a dollar in that couscous that she's wearing, whatever.
Yes. I guess that's pretty much what it says right there. That's what it. That's pretty much. It's a short one. This is a short one. There.
It's a short thing.
When you
Man,
got
by
it,
the way,
you're fine.
I do love Mel Brooks. I'm a big fan of his. He's such a mensch, but he is funny as hell. His comedy is legendary. It's
It is
different.
legendary. Legendary. Matter of fact, one of my dad's favorite Mel Brooks movies is Blazing Saddles, by the way, which is the screenplay was co-written by the great late legendary Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Yes. And there you have it.
By the way, Tara London, I agree. I mean, maybe not vote, since either one doesn't really get my heart of heart support.
Mm-hmm.
Either one. It's the same thing with consolidation. I'm at a crossroads. It's like, are you anti-consolidation? Are you pro-consolidation? And are you voting for Ellis? Are you voting for Rickett? And either one of them, I think, we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
Either one of them, I'm not overly impressed with. Although I will say that pro-business right now is the way to go.
Yeah.
But also, you're not going to have much business here if your city is filled with illiterate kids that are killing each other with guns.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, the
people, school system is not that great here, which is another problem. Who the hell wants to move into a community with a bad education system?
Yeah.
It's like putting yourself in the middle of Rwanda or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you even want to invest the time to come to a city that is not as progressive as it ought to be? Everybody's trying to, and then they bring up all this drama.
Yeah.
With Fickling is bringing up about Schlesinger, about some freaking meeting that's against the law. And
Mm-hmm.
who gives a shit? Who cares? As long as somebody's meeting.
Yeah.
As long as somebody's trying to move ahead. And they lambast Schlesinger, the rabbi, for making some meeting that he wasn't supposed to have. And meanwhile, the DA said he was all right. The guy that's in charge of the election said,
Okay, election committee.
what's his name? Secretary of State for Georgia said that Rabbi Schlesinger didn't do anything illegal. And yet, you got a guy like Fickling bringing this crap up, and once again, like that flyer, and Elaine Lucas and David Lucas choking the kid. I mean, this is the shit that goes on with these people in office.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to have Ellis, and then he's going to bring all that baggage drama in. I mean, do we really need that? And then, of course, you have Mayor Rickett with the whole Junebug thing and the police issues here. And does he really care about the layman person? Is he really a closet Republican? This is a craziness that we have to deal with here.
Yeah. Exactly.
We have to cut through all of that garbage
All the hogwash.
all that hogwash, and then bring about the best candidate for running this new consolidated government. And who really lives up to that? Anthony. The city needs more tax revenue, I would think, of course. But they also, besides the tax revenue, where is the money going? That's always been another problem with Macon. Everybody seems to be getting paid, but nothing's getting done.
Mm-hmm.
All these people go home to their nice big houses that they live outside of the corridor of downtown. They live in these houses that are recessed back 200 yards and live with big lawns. And they're all trying to come out of their back caves and trying to run a city.
Yes.
You come over here to my corner and hang out. When was the last time I've ever seen a mayor come around here? Other than Jack Ellis. You see what I'm saying? It's all confusing. I think I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote on anybody. Maybe that's what I should do. Not vote. My no vote is a vote. A vote of no confidence. Not confident yet. Not there yet.
Something to think about right there.
Anyway, we're going to think about this on tomorrow's show.
Yeah, we'll find out when we get the election results, which we'll find out tonight, because the polls started opening this morning at 7 a.m. and they will close at 7 p.m. It's 67 degrees right outside of Macon, Georgia, 67 and cloudy with a high of 80 degrees and a low of 57. We want to thank everyone for coming in and watching us. We want to thank Ashley34, Diaz Photo Guide, Hawkeye, New Jersey, Michelle Stacy, My Nutsitch, Nical 3000, Benin, Ohio, Blue Medic, DJ Azrael 1, Helter Skelter, Montana Springs, Scorpio Pio, Smell My Finger, Snow Spark, Suck My AR-15, Time for a Shot, Tower of London, Undertaker, and Zappa 1, and also Donnie Curry, who was here earlier, as well as Saibuki, who was also here earlier. Yeah. I have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about for tomorrow, especially when people in Dubai, movie censors in Dubai, censor a Hollywood thriller for profanity. Find out what that is for tomorrow. Until next time.
Before we go, what's the best name today? I'm going to take a shot at this one. Time for a Shot. Time for a Shot. That is the best name title for today's show.
What?
Time for a Shot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all need a shot. A vodka shot.
You don't need
bourbon.
Drink.
Thank you.
Maybe you should start. Get some bad habits there.
Time for a Shot. You were the. We're going to do that.
Up wasn't bad enough.
We're going to do that from now on.
Huh?
We're going to do that. We're gonna name the name of the day. Like the best name for today's show.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can all go and, well, Smell My Finger was here today, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's still here. Or she.
Yeah, Smell My Finger's still here. Yeah.
Now you can go and smell my finger after you take time for a shot. There you go.
Get my flu shot, yes. And for all the people here, thank you for watching. And on behalf of Irv and Ed, this is DB saying thank you. And can you smell what the roast is brewing?
See you tomorrow.
Yes, in public if you will.
Yeah, bitch.